My goodness. Like, for once, every once in a while, it's very rare. But there was a silent hangout as we are live. Yo, what is going on, chat? Welcome to another episode of the next podcast, guys. I am really, really excited for the show. I know it seems like I say that like every week, but especially ever since 2020 came along and we got, the launch of new systems. We got, rumors and rumors of rumors about different games that might be right around the corner and stuff. It's a really, really exciting time to be a gamer. And guys, I didn't do it yet, so let's do this together. If you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up button. Share this out on social media. Let people know where you are spending your Saturday night from 7 to maybe about 9-ish or so. Yo, right here with us on Next Podcast. Good to see everybody in the chat. Guys, like I said, fire show, but we got to do the intros first. And I'm going to start with the man, my West Coast brother, the guy who has officially retired from saving the world. So if you want to know why the world is going the way it's going, it's because this man right here that I am introducing has retired. Of course, Dark Optimus, what is up, brother?
What's up, man? Yeah, I'm retired, dude. I hung up the,
Dude,
the glasses.
You couldn't even hand the reins over to somebody else or anything like that. You just had to
No, I'm the only one that can save it. Hopefully I can come back and save it again. We'll see.
We're waiting, man. So many people stuck in their houses now. So much craziness. We got murder hornets on the West Coast. Dude, that's even close to you.
We got
man.
severe thunderstorms on the northeast.
Really? I gotta check my weather app then.
Yeah.
Dude, ever since we moved to right by the beach, 2 thunderstorms that we've had have already had hail in them, and it was so rare in the old place that we stayed, our old kind of apartment. It was so rare to even have hail in our thunderstorms. So I'm like, oh my goodness, man. So,
right.
Well, since you're talking about the Northeast severe thunderstorms, I better get this intro in before his power possibly gets knocked out or something. He is a hardcore Gears head, but he also plays other games, and lately his girl has been whooping his ass in Mortal Kombat. Crispy, what is up, bro?
What is up, you fucking asshole? That's what I gotta say about that. But in general, what's up, chat? What's up, everybody? It is Saturday night. We are here. We are going to go in on some serious topics. Let's go, baby.
Nice, brother. And I'm going to try to get through this quickly. So next on the list, he is definitely a fan of your first person, third person military shooters. But he also went in and dominated Ori 2. My brother Predator, what is up, bro?
What up, everybody? Keep this short and sweet. We got some topics to get into today, so enjoy the Murder Hornet. And
Yo, that is the best picture I've seen in the Hangout in a long time, brother. I'm just saying, I'm a fan. I am a fan. All right, next on the list, just coming off of an absolute GRG marathon, coming live from the 405, and I'm surprised he's still awake right now after talking so many games between last night and today. Of course, it's K-Mega. What is up, brother?
What's going on, man? I could do both. I can play games and do a show.
Do you do that on your own show, though?
No.
See?
Well, no. I did it. Well, I did a little something on Mixer earlier today, and I was playing Injustice. I've been on Injustice 2 all week, losing my mind, and so I'm going to be playing it here tonight while I'm doing the show. So it's going to be all good. You know what I'm saying? Multitasking.
I got you, brother. I got you. Well, when it comes down to it, I think there was, I would say three big topics that happened this past week, and I definitely want to cover those. But before I cover those, guys, there has been a Lady Foxfire sighting. What is up, lady? Hitting up that super chat, showing support and love for the channel. Thank you so much. And Lady Foxfire says, let's go! Super Chat is working. Where is Battletoads? I don't know. No release date. I don't know. I'm just hoping for it to come out. That's all. Do what they gotta do. And then release the game.
It's not coming like Nox is not coming back to Halo. That's how it's gonna be.
All right. Now stop with the Halo shots right now. Let's turn back the clock, because an announcement that happened earlier in the week. It was on Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, which, I gotta say the first couple shows have been really good in my opinion, but the very first thing that he came out with the Summer Game Fest was a remaster for Tony Hawk 1 and 2, completely remastered, graphically 4K. I think looks absolutely amazing. We were talking about this a little bit off air. Let me go to my brother Crispy. Let me go to somebody I know is excited about this. Crispy, Jeff Keighley, Summer Game Fest, they announced in September we will be getting our hands on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, graphically, brought up to today's standards, but keeping kind of like the traditional gameplay and stuff. Are you excited about this, bro?
I am super excited about this game. I mean, Vicarious Visions has done some great remakes, and this is definitely a remake. I mean, you're going to be able to play with some assets from Tony Hawk 4 and 3 in this game. Imagine playing Warehouse with, some of these assets. This is going to be an incredible game. It is going to probably blow the doors off for Activision real quick. And the beauty of it is Vicarious Vision has a bunch of devs that used to work at Neversoft, which is just amazing. I mean, there's going to be a lot of love in this game. You got most of the original soundtracks going to be there. You have a total up-res. If you've watched the video, they did a complete switch up, through the whole video.
It's not even a complete up-res. Like they went in and they redid the textures, everything like that. So it's like a fully, because you know how sometimes you can take an older game and you make it 4K and it's just like crappy textures but in 4K. Like, dude, this looks absolutely incredible.
This was the announcement. Like, everybody could say whatever they want. This was the one that I was like, man, this game is day one for me. Like I told Bot earlier, I'm trying to get that collector's edition because, like, this is nostalgia. Like, I played with Tech Decks when I was a kid, and all this. Like, this is like my childhood envisioned in real time. Like, I'm sure it's going to look amazing on my Xbox One X. I can't wait to play it. I really can't. It's just one of those games that, like, it resonated with me through my entire life. And it even influenced, what music choices I made in my entire life. And it's one of those things that if you go back and you're able to play Warehouse with a couple things that needed to happen, in Tony Hawk 3, even Tony Hawk 2 and 4, and you have that in there with them, bringing that detail in the game. I can't wait because, like, I always remember just, okay, are you going to smash through the up top or are you going to go, just kind of skate through? And that's the first game I ever played that was a skating game that I was like, my God, this is amazing. I love it. And I really can't wait for it. And I hope, the people that have played the old ones, I really think you're in for a treat because I think it's going to be up to our standards, even though it is technically older games.
Nice. Yo, I got to shout out Bounty Boom, the newest member to this channel. Yo, shout out to you. There's a whole bunch of emojis that you can put into the chat now. It all opened up to you. Thank you so much for the support. Let's go to Pred, because Pred was like, you guys are only talking about this for like 10 minutes and that's it. So I got to hear what Pred thinks about this. Pred, do you have any history with like Tony Hawk Pro Skater from the past? What do you think about them coming out? It is 1 and 2 put together, like like Crispy said, with assets from like 3 and 4, and it's $40 for both games, man. What do you think?
I mean, I've never played Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. It wasn't my bag, but I know I've heard a lot of people saying they wanted this game. So, I mean, yeah, it's you know, this generation has been about like getting things that we've actually asked for and actually gotten. You know, I've gotten a bunch of back compat titles that I loved back in the day. I think everybody else in here probably has got at least 1 or 2 as well. So, so this is just another game to add to that. Like, even though it's not back and pass actual remaster, which is good, I'd rather have a remaster than to have a back and pat title with the old shitty looking assets and stuff like that. So, I know there's other skate games out there. Well, Skate is out there now, but I know a lot of people have been clamoring for Tony Hawk to come back. So, you know, those guys are definitely gonna be happy.
Nice. Now, Fred, I gotta ask you because like you seem to be a little more. I know me and Crispy, we're hyped. You know, we have history with the game and stuff like that. Do you think that there's gonna be anything in terms of, you know, our brother Mooch? He says nostalgia is a hell of a drug. He's like, yo, I can see him right now, like talking about it. Unfortunately, we didn't talk about it this past Crossfire from last night, but I could see him saying, yeah, so many people are gonna buy it for $40. They're gonna play it a couple times and they're just gonna leave it to the side because, you know, nostalgia doesn't necessarily equate to, you know, the same hours you put into the game back then into now. Do you think that there might be a lot of that here, or do you think that there is a place for this? Is like, it's basically an arcade skateboarding game, kind of like SSX, but on, you know, concrete or whatnot. Do you think there's a place there, or do you think the nostalgia is going to hit and then it might taper off?
Well, besides Skate, what other skateboarding games have we had out?
Skater XL is coming out as well. And
no, I mean not coming out. I mean like since Tony Hawk.
Ooh.
Besides Skate, I know Skate came out recently, but like I don't remember any skateboard games that have been out since then.
You remember there was a rumor about Sessions, and then, you know, or there was an announcement for a game, Sessions, an indie skateboarding game that didn't come out either. It's been few and far between, man.
Yeah, so like I mean like, and I don't know how big skateboarding is anymore like it was when I was a kid. Like I mean I had a skateboard, I busted my ass plenty of times, but but I don't know if that's a you know a happening genre outside, you know, just actually physically doing it anymore. Look, other than what you see on what's that ESPN
X Games?
X Games, yeah, like
yes.
I watch it on there and stuff like that, but I don't know how big that genre is, but the fact that there isn't any games out there like Skate, like Tony Hawk, really out there anymore. Like I think this one will have some legs.
Dude, okay.
I mean, I'm pretty much done, but I think like because there's not a lot out there for this genre, like I think it'd be fine.
Dude, I think it'll quench the thirst of not just like, you know, people who want to play Tony Hawk and stuff like that. You know, I think me and I think K Mega might agree. There's a lot of people that want an SSX as well. You know, the arcadey snowboarding game, and I think this might at least somewhat scratch an itch over there as well, because, you know, we haven't gotten a new SSX or anything like that. So
cool borders, bro. Like I used to play the hell out of cool borders. Like
bring them all back, man. What? All right. Well, yo, let's go to K Mega on this. K Mega, we know you are a longtime gamer, so I'm pretty sure you've had your own run-ins with the original Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Let us know about your experience with the original games. And if you feel that this remaster with Tony Hawk 1 and 2 for $40, you know, create your own, it has online multiplayer, you know, you can create your own parks, you can have your friends come in and help you create your own parks as well, so you could do like collaborations and stuff. Do you think that this was a big announcement this week, man?
Yeah, it's a big announcement for people who are intrigued by this game. I've rented Tony Hawk's.
I knew you had some type of experience, man.
That I rented it, and then I kind of was out of that. Yeah. Well, it was Hollywood Video, and I kind of was just not in that era anymore. I mean, I could go back to games that I used to play that was in that that type of genre with California games, Skate or Die, stuff like that. I think even because I even rented Sean Palmer's skating. It was the snowboarder game, and then I just couldn't. I just wasn't. Just didn't get into it, so I can't say too much about Tony Hawk. Because like when I played it, when I rented it, I played it for a few hours, and that was it. I never went back and never bought any more of those games. Or even played them. So I'm happy for the fans that are really hyped for it because I know when it was announced, I seen you and Crispy and I've seen a lot excited about it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all turned up, man. They brought the white boy out.
Got a
like
little fangirlish there. Got a little fangirlish out there, man.
yeah, y'all got out there. But I'm happy for y'all guys. I really am.
Well,
I mean, anything that's good for that. And then of course with the fact that it's that they remastered it in a way and it's coming to you and it seems like it's fairly priced. So no, I'm very happy for it. And you know me, I'll catch a wild hair and I'll just be like, let's go ahead and give it a try. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, Mega, that's what I was gonna ask because
Mhm.
over the years you've definitely kind of like you've definitely evolved as a gamer. So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you might have rented it back then, but I would think that your evolution as a gamer, like are you thinking about like picking this up and giving it another try?
I mean, I'll give it a try. I don't think I'll buy it at full price when it first launches, but if it gets on sale or it so happens to maybe come on Game Pass or something like that, I'm definitely going to download it, give it a shot. It's just that it's not a priority game for me. It's something that like I said, I've kind of gone away from that genre. I enjoy more of the snowboarding aspect than I do the skateboarding. But that's not to say it's because look, I'm not as familiar with skateboarding games as I used to be. But you're talking about games that like I said, California games and Skate or Die, stuff like that. Like those games aren't nowhere near as good as Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk was at one time the only face to skateboarding games.
The king.
I think Sean White tried to pull something off in the 360 PlayStation 3 era, but obviously it didn't work because you don't see any more Sean White games. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy for you guys. I really am because I mean that's what it's all about is seeing people getting games that's part of their nostalgia that gets them excited again when they see that they're brought back. So yeah, kudos, man. Kudos for them remaking that.
No doubt. And not only that, the limited edition, which my brother Crispy told me was $100, comes with a full-size Tony Hawk Birdman skateboard deck. So that
dude.
there, yo, Crispy, what do you got to say about that limited edition, man? That's insane, yo.
Dude, that birdhouse deck was like the first thing I wanted when I played that game because it looked so sick back then, and like I had the tech deck with it and everything else. Like it was so like I've watched these guys like I might not have been able to skate like them, but for the love of God, like to see Tony Hawk doing 900 and shit, like it brings back so many memories because a lot of my friends really like could actually do some crazy stuff that I've never seen. And it's even like with biking, like I say, bring back Dave Mirra, you know what I mean? Like these are games that, yes, there's people that won't be interested, but there's a huge, base that hasn't been touched of kids, even younger that would actually enjoy these games now. And I feel like Vicarious Visions is going to do the right thing with it, just by them using assets from the other games. I think that they're going to make something that we haven't seen, like maybe you would compare it to like Resident Evil, like the remakes. You know what I mean? Because it really is a remake from what I've seen and heard. You know what I mean? It's not just okay, we're going to up-res it. Like you said. You know what I mean? It's truly a remake. You're going to be able to play levels that, you played as a kid. If you're like me, that you could never do the things that you could do in Tony Hawk 3 or 4 because they weren't the type of company that would take all these assets and just port them over. Like even like Gears, like I mean we've really had three new maps.
He found some way to represent Gears on a Tony Hawk topic. Yo, that's amazing, man. I got to give you props for that. Like,
but in all seriousness, like a lot of people have called out about having the same maps, just a little bit better than they were, and Tony Hawk never really did that. Even going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, like you maybe had one thrown in there, or you had like School 2 instead of School 1, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So in general, like I feel like there's so much that they could touch on. They could actually release a lot of like freaking just extra content. You know what I mean?
Hold on,
like,
real quick. I just want to shout out to Tina Orlando. It said, worthless skateboard deck. I mean, come on. I'm no flipping skateboarder. The game is fun. Now, I definitely agree with you on the game is fun part. But, Tina, don't you realize that skateboarding decks are actually collectible as well? So,
I wouldn't be putting trucks on there or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, if I got that for one of my 12-year-olds, he would take the trucks off of what he has right now. He would put him on there. He would tape it up, and he would be out. He would be out with that thing, like gone, like doing what he does.
That's what I'm saying. Like kids are still skateboarding. Like this is a game like we haven't seen a lot of, and that's where I go on K-Bag. Like, dude, we haven't seen a lot of games that bring that back. And I'll be honest with you, it's not easy to string combos together and do a lot of things in that game. It's actually a pretty challenging game once you play it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Trying to get that high score, man. Like I will be there for hours. Like, yo.
Dude, like I want to play Area 51 in 4K, baby.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Wow.
Like that is one of my favorite maps on any game I've ever played. Like that game is so crazy. They have like a bunch of Easter eggs in there if you do certain things. Like they were far ahead. Like, and when Tony Hawk, I watched his interview and he's like they constantly telling me remake 1 and 2. Like, and he pushed it. And as soon as Activision approached him and was like, you know what, there might be a place for this. Tony Hawk's like, man,
Activision's like, yo, we have an idea. After he said that so many times, Activision comes up to him like, guys, yo, Tony, we have this crazy idea. We're gonna remake 1 and 2. I can see them claiming it as
well. They have before, though. That's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. They have before.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, a lot of people say the Xbox version was better than anything else. The funny thing is that he looked at them and said, "Okay, who's making it? Who's making it? Vicarious Visions." And he went, oh, hell yeah, let's do that. They made the Crash Bandicoot remake. Mm-hmm. They made freaking Crash Team Racing remake. Mm-hmm. Like he's like, this is the actual studio that needs to make this. Perfect. Let's do it.
Nice. Well, you hear our brother Predator. It is about that time. I do want to say one thing before we move on. I think the best thing about this remake is they're bringing all the graphics up to date, and it's not just an upres, but they are keeping the traditional mechanics the same. Now, when it comes down to it, the way you do the tricks, everything like that, how you build up your meter to do the tricks and all that good stuff, all that is pretty much staying the same. They are kind of like, they said they are tweaking it a little bit to bring it a little more up to date, but as long as they keep that core gameplay, that arcadey feel to it, I think it's going to be great.
Don't
Dark,
forget
you
about
got anything you want to say about this?
Dark doesn't play skateboarding. Like he doesn't. He likes.
It's because I do it in real life. That's why.
He likes single player, heavy story driven narrative. Wander in the wilderness type games. But Dark, what do you think about this Tony Hawk remaster, man? Are you down? Are you excited? Do you have any type of history with the original 2 games, man?
I have history with the first 2 games, yeah. I was more into actually skateboarding than actually playing the games back then.
Is that a jab? Is that a little jab?
I'm still into the actual, skateboarding for real, I wouldn't say that I'm, a pro or anything, or even average or anything. I would say, I just skate around. I don't really do any of the tricks anymore.
Dude, it's hard at your
Um,
height to picture you like getting crazy on a skateboard, bro.
Yeah, I can't really get crazy on the skateboard. I'm getting older, and knees are starting to get a little finicky. But yeah, I still ride around, on my longboard or my regular skateboard or stuff like that. So,
Old school with the longboard. I got you,
yeah,
bro.
man. Yeah, man.
Damn, it's a West Coast thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a West Coast thing. I'm definitely interested in it. I'll probably play it. It's one of those games. It's one of those nostalgia games. Like, even when they did the HD remake or the HD remaster or whatever that they did on
More of a
360
remaster.
Yeah, it was more of a remaster. I played that too, and I thought that was okay. But I was like, man, I would love to see this in like a better, just look better, than what it did. And this game definitely shows it. It shows that they're putting their a little bit more of tender love and care into this one. So it's definitely something I'll probably pick up and play. I don't know if I'll
Dark, we can make a park
pick
together,
it up right
man.
away. I probably won't pick it up right away though.
We can make
That's
a
the thing,
park
like-
together. You have to come online on
But
Xbox
that's the thing,
Live
dude.
and
Like
talk
I
with-
guarantee you, like by the time I pick it up, you're already gonna be done with the game. So it's like it wouldn't even be a point to it,
Oh, it's funny you say point because I'm thinking all grinding, like very long, thin area with like wooden stakes coming out of every corner, and like if you mess up, you die.
I think my favorite trick of all time is probably still the varial kickflip.
Christ Air,
I still no.
dude.
I like the varial quick kickflip.
I like spinning in a Christ Air and landing perfectly. I absolutely love that. But yo, shout out to one typical.
Or the dark side.
Dark Slide. If you're talking about grinds, yeah, definitely. Yo, one typical Latino hitting up that super chat. He said, "What's up, panel? Have a great show. Never played the first Tony Hawk. Well, brother, in September you will be able to. You will be able to play Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Yo, I do want to give a shout out to Rated D, who is showing up here for the first time as well. Shout out to Rated D, and of course the rest of the channel. All of our typical, supporters, followers, people in the chat, guys. It is good to see all of you. Now, let's get into the second part of this topic because it was teased that a Mafia trilogy is also, coming out in the near future. Now, unfortunately, it was only a tease, so we didn't get to see a lot when it came to that game. But we did see screenshots, and I gotta say, my jaw dropped at the screenshots that I saw. But it led to a question because I remember the beginning of this generation, so many remasters were coming out, and of course, the granddaddy of all remasters for this generation was the Last of Us remake that came out on the PS4, and it was a record time that a developer came out with a remake or a remaster after the original game. It was so quick. I forgot how many. Does anybody on the panel know offhand, from the launch of The Last of Us, how many months?
It was within the first year. It was at least within the first year.
Dude, it was insane. Absolutely insane. And of course, a lot of third-party developers, people just jumped on that bandwagon. So, what? I'm gonna go to K Mega on this one first. K Mega, I'm seeing this as a sign. Like, I thought we were kind of done with remasters as well. We got smart delivery, we got all this stuff that backwards compatibility. I thought we were done with this era, but to me, like, it looks like a sign that we're gonna be getting a lot of remasters. They already announced Crysis as well, that they're doing a remaster of the original Crysis. Like, what's going on here? How do you feel about possibly going through a remaster era once again, on the verge of like new hardware coming out, man?
Well, this is the difference, I believe. I think we're going to get remasters that we've been asking for, and they'll look a lot better than some of the remasters that we've gotten, especially in the beginning of the gen that were called remasters, but they were nothing, not nowhere near the sorts. I think Resident Evil kind of got started the trend. I know that there's other games
Mm.
that came probably maybe before that, not that far before, but that's done actual remakes that really looks good. And I think that that's it, we're going to have the hardware to really push these type of games. And Mafia, there was a reason why I was showing Mafia gameplay on GRG is because I was hearing about this rumor a while back, and that's why I was showing Mafia 2. It's one of these things where I'm kind of like, yeah, I would like to see that, especially to get people familiar, because I think that uh, a lot of people may not have, maybe skipped on, maybe didn't play 3 or didn't play 1 or 2, and then they only played 3 and stuff like that. So having them all together would be great, and especially if they're going to do these remasters, do the ones that people have really been asking for, especially for like Mass Effect. That would be amazing. And bring
Yeah,
back some
shout
other
out to
stuff.
Jamie,
Yeah.
man. Like Jamie, yo, I want the remaster just to come out for Jamie
Hmm.
Moran, man, because like every day I can see him waking up every day, and the first thing he thinks about is Mass Effect trilogy. Like
Yeah,
he,
no, I'm right there with him. I mean, like they could do Dragon. Like, I mean, when they present the new Dragon Age, they could talk about bringing the Raymasters to the other Dragon Ages because they did not age well. So it would be really really. The last Dragon Age, even though a lot of people I know didn't really particularly like it, I thought it was cool. It was different, but I thought it was cool. It was a
Inquisition,
beautiful
right?
looking game. Yeah, Inquisition. Yeah, I thought it was, beautiful. It was different, but it still felt like Dragon Age. It just had some different elements to it. But I mean, but the other two, 1 and 2, but man, they did not age well. Even on PC, they don't even look that great. So, games like that would definitely get people excited. I mean, and just like when you guys were talking about, well, I was too, Tony Hawk and,
Mm-hmm.
and his remaster. Let's see an SSX. Let's see, let's try
Yeah,
to
come
see if we
on,
can try.
man.
Yeah, let's try to bring these games that people actually really want, that are really old, that could
Could definitely
benefit.
use a facelift,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that
Yeah.
could benefit, and then that could kind of, and I don't think anybody will complain so much. But if you just come out and you just bring a remaster of the latest game, of the game that just came out a couple of years ago or something, and then say, "Oh, remaster on the Series X or the PS5." Then no, that type of stuff that has to die immediately. But bringing older games back, I have no problem with.
Well, Dead Rising Ninja in the chat, and I kind of agree with him on this. He said nobody asked for a Crisis remaster, and when it comes down to it, I know Crisis, is really it's held on a high pedestal in the PC space for showing off graphics. Back in the day, if this can make Crisis look like this, you know what I'm saying? People were always benchmarking with like their graphics cards and stuff, but I never played the original Crisis, but I did hear that when it comes to the game and the story, it's more meh. Did you play Crisis, man?
Yeah, yeah, I got all three Crisis. Yeah,
What?
I played them. The story is actually okay, but
It's okay.
it's
That's meh.
yeah, it's okay. It's good. It's good. It's not crazy. I think the game is a showpiece to really show how far advanced gaming was at the time with the first one. The second one is a lot better. I played only a little bit of the third. Pred, I think, has played more of the third one than I have and know more about that. But I thought the second one was a lot better. It but the stories are, the cliche, type of, hero, this and it's kind of crazy, but they are really cool games to jump into, and especially for so many people who haven't had a chance to play those games because they were primarily only could be played on PC. And then like when you jump in and try to play, it's kind of like with the Witcher is the only game I could think of that benefited from people not really knowing the full story going back to The Witcher 1, because that was only on PC, and then Witcher 2 was only on 360, and then The Witcher 3 comes out, but the story was so good, the lore, everything about it was so good that it gravitated. But that would be another one. CG Project Red try to bring a remaster to uh to that game.
Like
To
Witcher
have
1
all
and
three, yeah,
like Witcher
yeah,
1? Okay.
yeah. Well, Witcher 1 and 2. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, and have it to be a multiplayer to where it could be played on all. Or I mean, if you want to include 3, I mean, I guess, but 1 and 2 would
That would be
benefit
a
too. Like I said,
trilogy that people like would like start gaming with and end gaming with. Like they would start gaming, play it, and
they
then
probably wouldn't get finished with neither. They probably wouldn't get finished with it until the end of the next generation.
yo
But
for
yeah,
real.
but it would be crazy. But yeah, no,
Well, actually,
it would definitely work.
those ones aren't that long though. The first one and the second one aren't that long.
You know, yeah, the second one took me about 45, about to 45 to 60 hours. So yeah,
Yeah,
not
it's
so bad.
about
Not so
right.
bad. Not so bad. Yeah, but I mean, when you look at kind of Witcher 3,
Mm.
you know, 300,
Oh, But
400 plus. So yeah,
you also know that Witcher 1, you would definitely have to upgrade that combat because the
It-
combat's
it was awful. And then it's mouse and keyboard only. So that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. So like they would have to make it where it's controller friendly. But it looks real ugly. It's not a pretty game at all. It is ugly, but the story is really cool. So, but yeah,
Okay.
I would love to see a remake from those. But yeah, no, I don't have a problem with remakes if they're done right and if they bring the right type of remakes. Don't give me something from a couple of years ago. Give me something like Tony Hawk that's been at least a decade or so away.
I got you, brother. I got you. Well, Dark chimed in, so let's go to Dark next. Now, you see what I'm saying? I'm hyped for Tony Hawk. I'm really interested in the Mafia trilogy as well. Like I saw those screenshots, and I'm like, is that really what the game is going to look like? Because it looked absolutely incredible, and it got me excited for a franchise I never even touched. So, but when it comes down to it, I remember back, 2013, all these remasters coming out, and kind of like the community. It's like, yo, we don't want all these remasters. Bring us new games. Bring us new games. Like the Dark, how do you feel about this series of remasters coming out? Do you see it as a sign that the industry is going to kind of repeat itself, on the release of like PS5 and Series X, or are you okay with remasters, man?
I wouldn't necessarily call them remasters.
Me neither,
Um,
Iron Mike. I just want to let you
I
know
would
that.
I would go more towards like remakes if they do that. Like that's what it seems like with the Tony Hawk is a remake, it looks like. And from the screenshots that we've seen from Mafia trilogy, it looks like a remake. It doesn't look like it's remastered in any way, especially like
Okay,
Mafia
well,
1
I
and
used the
Mafia
wrong word.
2.
I am so sorry, Dark. I am so
No.
sorry. I meant remake, okay?
Yeah, I like the fact that they're doing remakes. I don't know why they would do it they would add Mafia 3, because Mafia 3, it's good, but I mean, it's not, I mean,
Uh-oh, K-Mega's
unless
ears just perked up. There, you better watch
'Cause
your
I-
right
Hell,
now.
sure the hell did.
Yeah.
no. I loved Mafia 3. No, it's not my favorite in the series by any
Right.
means. I loved the second one way more. But I think this was like with 3. It's like, do they really need to remake it? That's the thing. I don't know if they'll. It might be like how they did with Halo. Like when they did the remaster. The collection. They
The
had
Master Chief
one.
Collection where Halo 3 looked garbage compared to the others.
Yeah, Halo 3 did look garbage, which was completely weird as to why did they do that, but they could have remastered that or remade it and made it better. But it might be a similar stance with the Halo remaster, where all the other games are going to look like Mafia 1 and 2 are going to look great, and then Mafia 3 is still going to look like it's on Xbox One, PS4, that kind of thing. It's going to be good. I mean, this was probably one of my more exciting announcements this week. I wasn't really too excited about Tony Hawk. I didn't really get too hyped for it, but then when I heard Mafia trilogy was come, and I was like, heck yes, because I loved the first one and I loved the second one. 3 was kind of a disappointment, but at the same time I still played it and I still enjoyed it for what it was, and its story. The story in those games are just, they're really good. Like if
Yep.
you enjoy that crime mafia, if you enjoy movies like Goodfellas or Casino or things like that, you're definitely going to enjoy the mafia
Goodfellas
movies.
is a classic, by the way.
I mean, the mafia games.
I do want to say, because, like, you know, we brought up Mafia 3, and K-Mega, I'm going to bring you in on this conversation as well. From the screenshots I saw, I did not see, it's funny you say that, I did not see any Mafia 3 screenshots. I think they were focused on 1 and 2. Do you guys know the screenshots I'm talking about?
Yeah, I seen them.
There was no 3 in there, right? That's a little peculiar, right?
Well, not really, because it's just like what Dark said. It's a newer game, and the game looks good. So really, the only thing that they would do is just add a little bit more polish to it. There's really not they can't do a massive overhaul because the game, you know, just looks so damn good as it is. So focus on the older titles and show people the comparison of what those older of 1 and 2 looks like, and get people to be like, wow, you know. And like I said, there might be people that's like Dark that he played all 3, but I'm just saying that there might be people that loved 1 and 2, never played 3, and there was people that played 3 and never played 2 or 1. So you get them all bundled up into a trilogy, it will make more sense for the overall story. All of that would be well, I think it would just be, it's just a good look. I like I said, I'm all for those for things like that. Just don't do it with games with remasters just with one game, because that right there just pisses me off. If they're going to start a trend of doing
so you want packages,
trilogy,
you want like whole,
yeah,
whole
give me a package, like, yeah, for $60. Like that's what I'm saying. Like when you looked at The Last of Us and God of War 3 remaster,
I guarantee that.
Oh, yeah, it is, but it's a trilogy, so I'm cool with that. So like if they package up trilogies and remake them, I'm for that. I'm not going to trip out on that so much.
Okay. All right.
And that's the thing with the whole trilogy is, like, you know, like K-Mega said, I don't think they're going to have to do anything really to Mafia 3. But then, you know, with Mafia 1 especially, like, since that was an Xbox game, PS2 game, like, that game definitely needed that upgraded version. And even 2 a little bit too, because I mean 2 for its time, that game looked fantastic. Like when you saw it on the 360, you were like, holy shit, they really did a good job.
Yeah, Bob was over here commenting the Cadillac I was rolling in and the gameplay. He was like, well, what a Cadillac, I forgot what that car was, but he was like, that white car is clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a car guy, man. I am a car guy. Like, yo, if I go ahead.
Even Mafia 2 on PC right now still looks pretty good, but I mean, I'm definitely excited to see next week what what those games are going to look like.
All right. Let's bring this to Predator, man. Like, I hear you guys gushing over the Mafia trilogy, and rightfully so. Like when I first saw those games and I saw the era and stuff, I just said I'm a car guy. I'm not like that far of a car guy where I was excited to drive, like, you know, just throwing out like a 47 Ford or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It just really didn't get to me, but, you know, seeing those screenshots and like how detailed the world was, I'm like, you know, maybe I could roll with the Mafia. I don't know. Predator, what do you think about this, the Mafia trilogy? But, you know, I think the bigger question, the question I'm really trying to ask is, do you see this as another sign that we're going to go through kind of like the same thing we did the beginning of this generation with all the remakes, right, Dark? Remakes? All the remakes, not remasters.
Yes,
remakes, okay.
We don't want any remasters, we want remakes.
Yeah, but do you see this as a sign? Like, I know I'm excited for Tony Hawk and I'm looking into Mafia, but at the end of the day, I don't want a whole parade of remakes, Dark, remakes. You know, coming into the picture. You know what I'm saying, Preb? What do you think about that, man?
So I remember playing a little bit of Mafia 1, not a lot of it. And I don't know what I was. I was probably like, I wasn't military. I was probably really busy with some other shit. So
you are really low right now, dude. volume
that
wise.
better?
Yeah, there
How's
you
that?
go.
Let me put it in my mouth.
Yeah.
So like, and Mafia 3, it was on my list of games to get. I just never got around to it because my backlog was so fucking big. So if that's included in it, and I get to finish Mafia 1, good. I love the screenshots from Mafia 1. Just looking at the difference from 2002 to what's coming next week, it's like night and day, and that's how it should be done if you're going to do a remaster, make whatever you want to call it. I think that's definitely the way I would want to see it done, like brand new graphics. Because what I hate is like um, Shadow of Colossus, right? I played that on my PlayStation. I remember playing it back on PlayStation 2. I think that's when it was out, and the controls sucked then, and they still suck now. It's like they never fixed that. Like I always thought the controls were really bad on that game, but it was something they should have addressed instead of just worrying about the way the game looks. Worry about some of the other stuff too, like how the game plays with your controller. Like you can actually remap some stuff and make it a little bit more workable on the controller. And I think sometimes they forget about that.
Mm.
They do. They typically they'll redo the sound and stuff like that, the audio and everything like that as well. But sometimes they always forget about the controller scheme and how it's going to play with the newer controllers, and they forget that aspect of it. I really wish they would kind of go back and look at that. As you were asking, like, do we want this to happen again? If it's done properly, I'll take the K Mega stance on it. If it's done right, then yeah. Like I mean, there's a lot of games I would love to see come back with new assets, using the new assets. Like I would love to see a side scroller Mario again, like with like I don't know, like the way Ori looks. You know what I'm saying? Like those colors that
Oh,
pop out,
damn.
stuff like that, like something like that. If they're gonna redo something like or Mario 64. Like I was looking at Mario today, that's why I'm saying this. But like,
Yeah, a lot of
Super
Mario going on
World,
with you, bro.
yeah. Because I heard there was a remaster coming out, a remake master, whatever you want to call it, coming out for one of the Mario games, but I don't know which one it is.
I hear there's a
Um,
few like Mario 64, Mario
yeah.
Sunshine. Like
So
there's a few of them.
if they're gonna do it and do it from the ground up and have like new art, not necessarily art style, but like like that's like the Ori art style, something like that, where the colors kind of pop out. Isn't this bland, flat, yellow, blue, white,
Mm.
like make the colors pop a little bit more. That would be awesome. And there's some other games. Everybody has their wish list of games they want to see come back and remastered. I know Crisis is coming. You guys were talking about that earlier. Crisis 3 was great. I would love to see that, updated and stuff like that. But I just don't want to. I would love to see new games and new franchises. That's one of the things I've harped like since this generation started. Like I don't mind like the cross generational stuff. Maybe like the game release at the end of the year, into the console generation, they want to use the newer assets and stuff like that. I don't want to pay for that, but if like at full price or something like that. But if they can do something like that and patch it in, great. If not, then wait a little while. Like I mean, there's games like Splinter Cell, the original. I would love to see like come back and or Skyrim, with new
Yo,
assets.
like actual Splinter Cell come back, stealth. Yeah, I can definitely see that, man. I
Well,
would
no,
love
not
that.
just that. Like, okay, like I know how you feel about Assassin's Creed. And nothing Assassin's, like imagine the original Assassin's Creed with remastered. You know what I'm saying? Like with the current graphics and stuff like that. Like I would love to see that, but I also want to see new games. I don't want to get stuck in the first year of buying this like expensive ass console and I'm playing games I played 5-10 years ago. Like, give me brand new games. And I was about to say one of the things I've always harped on is like kids need games from this generation to remember when they're 20 years down the road. Like we don't want them to be remembering you know Super Mario Brothers that we played 20 years ago, 50 years from now, and then, oh man, that game was awesome. Like there's not a lot of games that I guess maybe like Fortnite, Call of Duties and stuff like that they'll always remember. But like the games that we remember, because I think we're all kind of old here, the games we remember like 15, 20 years ago was
Who you
games
calling
that
old, sucker?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, man.
kind of if it affected you, then it means I'm talking about you. So if like the games that we played as kids, as teenagers, maybe like 9 years old, those games will always resonate with us because we sat there. Like I remember playing Contra consistently all fucking day long. Like even though the game was the same every time I played it, I would play it every fucking weekend and I beat it every fucking weekend. I remember that shit. But like this generation of kids now, like they're gonna remember Fortnite, they're gonna remember stuff like that. And do you want to see a remaster of Fortnite in 20 years?
Oh no.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
no.
So like, I want them to have another game like how you feel about Halo, the original Halo and stuff like that. How we feel about the original Halo. Like we want to see those games again at some point in time, but we want to see newer shit too at the same time. I don't want to just see
So balance
remasters.
it out, basically.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
like it shouldn't be every game doesn't need to be remade. You know, like let's leave it the way it is.
You know, I gotta say,
maybe
Pred.
make a sequel.
No, just real quick. I just want to say, like, I think with kind of like the Resident Evil remakes, the Final Fantasy VII remake, one thing that is kind of like a ray of hope here for me when it comes down to it is like you said, just do it right. And I think everybody before you said the same thing. And Crispy, I did not forget about you. I am going to you as well. All right.
It's okay.
Yeah, I want to throw that out there. I know Dark has a fear of me forgetting about him, which I might have a little bit earlier, but at least
Dude, you forget about me all the time.
well, dude, you're so butt ass quiet, man. Like, yeah,
Because you're forgettable. That's
It's
why.
because I let everybody else talk.
You didn't hear that, Pred? Pred thought about that.
Oh no. But Pred, like I'm saying, at least when it comes down to it, there is a newer blueprint to remakes that have been successful as well. You see what I'm saying there?
Yeah, because they're doing it right. You know, like even the Zelda they came out with a couple of months ago, like was really done very well too. So like I mean, it They sometimes they do it right, sometimes they don't do it right at all. So I don't want it to be like when we go into the beginning of the holiday season, like we see like 3 sequels and then 15 remasters and then like maybe 1 or 2 brand new franchises. I don't like that. I mean, like, give us some new experience with something different. You know, where we go forward with this $500 box that we're about to buy.
Dude, I definitely understand where you're coming from, and I think that's part of my fear right there as well. You know, hopefully this is just kind of like that one batch type thing as we move forward. I know, like, Crytek will be looking at how successful the Crysis 1 remake, you know, how successful it is when it comes out to see whether or not they're probably going to do 2 and 3 as well. I would hope that they would just automatically plan for the sequel because, like I said, I didn't play it, but from what I've heard, the story is just meh. And I hear like Crysis 2 and Crysis 3 were a lot better in terms of the story, the gameplay, and all that.
Which
good
Crisis
stuff,
did you like? Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was going to ask Craig because I didn't get to hear that part. Which Crisis did you like better, 2 or 3?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, see. So hopefully they just have it on the table, and you know they're bringing that franchise up to speed to possibly come out with another one at a later date as well.
Yeah, and the good thing about some of these remakes and stuff like that we see, remasters, whatever you want to call it, like the money they generate from those probably help with the next game. You know, so
Oh, exactly.
that's always a good thing, good sign to see. Like at least you know that people want it, and they buy that you know remake. That maybe they're using that money to make the next version of the game. So that's always a plus.
Nice. Well, I gotta say, first off, I gotta say, K Mega, like I hope you're happy. You got your winning gameplay on here. This is what's going on. I saw, I think it was Z Black Rider. He was like, "Yo, what's up with the old gameplay or whatnot?" Yo, K Mega won. We do the poll once a month, and whoever wins, it's at the beginning of the month. Whoever wins, they get their winning gameplay on each show for that month. So K Mega, I think we got the fill of your gameplay. I am going to be switching scenes in a minute.
I was over here feeling at home because I mean, guys are going to be seeing my winning gameplay all for the next probably damn near for the rest of the year.
You like that, right? You like that?
I do like that. I like that. I like that.
I get it. I'll get it somewhere. I'll get it somewhere in the show.
Members are happy with mediocrity.
What happened?
Ooh.
They're happy with mediocrity.
Oh no!
Oh my God. You're talking real low. It's not like you sad today,
Yeah,
bro.
I know,
mean,
right?
What's going on?
You
what?
I thought our people on the show were a lot better.
His wife's sleeping next to him right now.
He
so
sounds like
probably
he
is.
sounds like a bully took his candy.
Yeah,
I know, right? He
damn.
does. He's all soft spoken.
I want to shout out to X Hawk real quick, who said, you know, something about PlayStation will be getting a lot of remasters the first few years, and from what I've been hearing behind the scenes, Sony has been on a spree buying up timed exclusivity. From what I'm hearing behind the scenes, and again, this is whether or not this is, you know, substantial, but it is something I have been hearing. I guess you could put the word rumor on it. Their first party is really not ready for the beginning of a gen of next gen, which is, I mean, honestly, it's no surprise. No surprise.
Yeah,
so when it comes down to it, it's going to be kind of like your traditional PS5 launch, from what I'm hearing. You might have a couple kind of like, you know, second party deals, games like franchises that were exclusive to Sony in terms of remakes. But from what I'm hearing, you know, in the background, what I'm hearing behind closed doors per se is Sony's first party isn't really ready for PS5. So it's going to be interesting. On that note, let's go to Sony and this generation. And guys, you are in for a treat.
He did forget about me, just to let you know.
You did forget about Chris.
I did forget about you.
You need to
you're already in the realm.
No,
Let's
yeah,
go, baby.
we're already moving on. We don't care what Crispy says about that last topic, yo. Yo, Crispy, welcome to the family. It happens to every one of my panel members. That's all I'm saying, man.
It's never happened to K Mega. I'm just saying that.
No, it has. It has.
happened to me.
And
Yeah,
the only thing is, like, K Mega, as soon as he hears me go somewhere else, he's like, "You fool! You forgot about me!" Like right off the bat. Like, yeah.
I ain't sitting here for all this.
Well, you said I didn't forget about you.
Yeah, I know.
He's like, I'm not gonna forget about you. You're next, and he just
Dude, good thing I didn't put money on that, man, because that would not have been good. But guys, you are in for a treat. State of play. I did a live reaction on this channel. 18 minutes of Ghost of Tsushima. Yo, shout out to my brother.
Say that again.
Tsushima.
Say that one. What?
Tsushima. Yo,
Tsushima?
I did a show.
Tsushima.
I did a show
Tsushima.
called Crossfire last night, and somebody who actually speaks fluent Japanese corrected everybody on how to pronounce that, and I'm still pronouncing it wrong. Just put it
whatever.
that way.
Just let me be country. Tsushima.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not, listen.
Tsushima.
Yeah. Tsushima. Yeah. Did you say Tsushima?
Tsushima.
Tsushima. It's no. What? So the T is silent?
No, TS. You gotta blend them together.
Shh.
Shit.
Listen.
He's like, I can't do that.
I'm not doing all that. Let me be country. Tsushima.
All right. So 18 minutes of gameplay. I watched it. I thought it looked really good. When it came down to it, of course, the first thing you're going to see is the graphics. Now, what I have for you to see today is actually the very first reveal of Ghost of Tsushima. All right. And the state of play that we just saw this past week. I took bits and pieces, very similar scenes, and you're going to be able to see them compared as we're talking about it. So here we go, guys. I am switching it up right now. As you can see, the red and white lettering is the reveal, the very first time we heard of the Ghost game, and then you will see it'll say state of play gameplay as well to put up what we saw this past week. And I forgot who was more excited about. You know what? I'm gonna go with Dark, because Dark was with me for the live reaction. So let's go in. Dark, you sat with me, and shout out to our brother Rage from lordsofgaming.net who was hanging out with us as well. Go through, man. What did you think about what we saw with this game? 18 minutes of gameplay, exploration, combat, customization. What do you think about this game, bro?
Oh man, this game! I'm just so excited for it. I'm more excited for this game than I am for The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, I love The Last of Us, the first one, but this game just has everything.
Dude, it's like you can't say that you're more excited for a game, over The Last of Us Part 2. You always put that disclaimer in there at the end.
Well, it's because fucking people out here will be like, "Oh, he's not excited for The Last of Us 2." Oh my god! they'll get all fucking butt hurt and shit, and so that's why I do it.
Whoa, where's this language
Yo,
coming
I
up?
love the energy,
this
bro.
boy, this
I
boy
think you
seems-
just got
this boy-
louder than I ever have.
Hey man, he's
know
heard the
how
word
people get.
crossfire, and he's seen Mooch in the chat. Shout out to Mooch. And then he's acting a fool. He's thinking he's on crossfire. What the hell wrong with you?
Yo,
My bad.
yo, keep it going, Dark. Keep it going, man.
But I'm more excited for this game. This game is just it's right up my alley, man. I love feudal Japan. I love that type of samurai, ninjas, all that stuff. Like I grew up on that. Like me and my dad used to watch that stuff all the time. Like me and him used to just sit down and we'd watch Bruce Lee. We'd watch freaking Wu-Tang. We used to watch freaking dude. We used to just get so deep into these movies and we'd lose hours and hours and hours of of just watching these movies. So I'm absolutely ecstatic for this game. I'm even gonna go as far as to say this might be even better than Sekiro, and I love Sekiro.
Oh, wow.
And Sekiro is one of my favorite games of this generation, period. So I'm super excited for this. I think a lot of people are saying the gameplay looked easy and stuff like that, but I think just to really show off the game and how it's gonna play, they probably had to play it on a difficulty that they are comfortable with, like or to really show what this character can do. So I think on probably maybe a harder difficulty, which we don't know if there's gonna be. It'll probably be a lot harder. You'll have moments where you'll have to actually stealth and kind of sneak around and do all that stuff. This game's just, oh man, this it's just so, it looks so good. It looks like I see a lot of people comparing it to Red Dead, but with samurai. I
Feudal
see
Japan,
more of like
Red Dead. Here we come.
yeah, I see more like The Witcher meets Horizon Zero Dawn meets, Red Dead, all these like open world type of games, but it feels more in depth. Like I like the whole being able to have like following animals and stuff like that. I know on Crossfire last night you guys mentioned that, people are probably gonna complain about how you're gonna have to follow like a fox and like a bird, and why am I following a fox or a bird? It's like that's just play the game.
That wasn't me, by the way, but it was said on Crossfire.
No, it was said on Crossfire, and I was just like, and it comes up to a good point. I think there will be people out there that will probably be like, why do I have to do this and that? It's like, if you're gonna be that nitpicky, then don't play the game. Don't even buy it. Don't even try to play it. Like you're just not gonna. It's not gonna be a game for you. For me, this is definitely right up my alley. I mean, like, look at this gameplay, dude, that you have going on right now. Like it's insane, dude. Like, and then the customization too. Like, there's so much different customization that you can do with your, with like the armor and your weapons and things like that. It's awesome. I know that a lot of people are saying it looks downgraded.
We're gonna get into that. All right, I'm just asking for your kind of like general thoughts, like what you're excited about with the game, because that's the reason why I put this on here. Just let me finish, dude. And
sorry, my bad.
Yeah, but the reason why I put this on here is so everybody can check it out as well. I do know there is YouTube compression going on, especially when you're doing live streams, but you can definitely watch this and see side to side similar instances, when it comes to combat, when it comes to surveying the landscape, when it comes to riding the horse, cinematic stuff like that. I try to put it all together so you can see things side by side with the reveal and the state of play gameplay. So this way we will talk about that. You got to let the chat actually check it out first, though. All right, bro?
Right. But I think, even if this game doesn't have a good story, it's still going to have good, it looks like it's going to have good combat and good, like, just gameplay all around. So, I'm definitely okay with that. You know, like I know I'm more of the story guy. You know, like I like story, but for some reason, I'll even say it here, and I know you always give me crap about not saying it on live on live podcast.
Uh-oh.
Final Fantasy VII.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the combat isn't that great. Like I don't like the combat. I don't like it.
Well,
It's.
but do you like
too-
Barrett though?
I do like Barrett. Barrett
Of
is
course you
awesome.
would. No, he's not.
Like Barrett is
No, he's
Barrett's
not.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, he's
No,
not. Yeah.
but that's the thing. Like the character's awesome, but the gameplay's not awesome. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's just dude, I can't express how much I dislike the way that the game plays. I love the story though. The story is great, but that game, the way it plays, it's so much like Kingdom Hearts that it boggles my mind. One button to press to get everything. It's like it. I know you can press other buttons to do different moves and shit like that, but it just it aggravates me because I know like Kingdom Hearts was like that too, and it just oh god, dude, it pisses me off so bad because it gets boring after a while.
Brother,
Like, how are you gonna sit there and not be like, oh, this isn't boring? You know? Like,
Yeah,
are you
well,
fucking
so
retarded?
You made me so proud, yo. You just made me so proud, man. Finally, we got the behind the scenes dark out here live for everybody. Dude, do not check your Twitter for at least 2 days. That's all I'm saying because they went right there.
I don't care, dude. I don't give a shit. It's so stupid. It's like how I feel about a game doesn't deter you from playing the game, doesn't deter you from doing anything. How I feel about it does not do anything
Speak
to
the
you.
truth, bro.
So,
Let's go.
Yesterday, last week got my boy Crook. I like that. I like this, man. That's all we needed to do. We needed a show like that to get the otter out of the water and into out there start squealing. That's my man right there. Go ahead, Otter. Yeah, get him out here, man. That's what I'm talking
Dark,
about.
I think that's the best compliment you're gonna get from K Mega. So you might as
Yeah,
well
it
like,
probably
hold
is.
that
I'm
close
just
to your
gonna-
heart, bro.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there.
Nice.
But I mean, going back to Ghost of Tsushima, it just looks Tsushima. Yeah, that's what I said.
That's not what you
Tsushima.
said.
I said Tsushima.
Now you said
Fucker.
it.
Did I? I don't
We're
know.
still pronouncing it wrong. I don't know why we're correcting each other.
We're probably
trying to
we're probably
emphasize
saying it wrong.
that it's it's a silent T. I'm just saying.
But it's good. You know, like I think the gameplay is gonna be good. So that's my biggest point is that the gameplay will be good. Even if the story isn't good, the gameplay will be good and it'll be a fun game. And that's kind of the more important.
Nice. I will say, when it came down to it, I thought the game looked impressive as well. I like all the little extra kind of like details in it, where you can go with the samurai cinema if you want, with the black and white kind of like green instead of the color. If you want to go that route, if you want to get nostalgic in like the old school, martial arts films and stuff like that. I thought that was.
I love that.
I thought that was a really good idea. It's something that you wouldn't think of right off the bat. Certain things like that what I call the wind of change that they were talking about, how you can hit a button and you see a wisp of wind go in the direction where you're supposed to go. I thought that looked completely out of place when it comes to the graphics. Really looked artificial coming out of nowhere. But again, that's just me. And, when it comes down to it, you're going to hear the good and you're going to hear the bad. I'm going to be honest with people throughout the whole thing. So, with that being said, let's go to Predator. I know Predator, he chimed in a little bit after the show. He likes
You
to
wanna go
watch...
Crispy first, since he hasn't talked in like an hour.
Well, he
Just skipped him last time.
Well,
Well,
if
you
Pred,
can
if you
actually-
want me to,
you go.
Pred,
you go
if you
to
want
Pred.
me to,
Pred,
if you
have
want me
fun.
to, I'll go to Crispy. But
No,
I might
no,
forget
you-
about
You
you,
should
Predator.
go to both Crispy and K Mega because they haven't spoken on this. And me and Pred have.
I actually haven't spoken on this either, but
Well, I mean,
no,
like,
we're going. You know
No,
what?
no,
any
Wait,
other
no,
show.
I am
want
the
Pred to
moderator.
speak first.
I am the
I want
moderator.
Pred
We
to
are
speak
We are going to Predator. I don't care what you say, Crispy. That is my final decision. Predator, Ghost of Tsushima. What do you think, bro? Like, did you check out you definitely checked out the 18 minutes of gameplay. What were your thoughts coming out of it, man?
Tsushima.
Tsushima? Yeah. Dude, people are gonna, you better watch out making fun of the name because,
Tsushima!
Oh, no. I'm done.
Canadian. What was your question?
Dude, what did you think about what we saw? 18 minutes of gameplay. They went in, showed exploration. Certain things, animals bringing you to different locations. They showed combat. They showed customizing your character. What did you think about it? About the showing overall? What did you like? What didn't you like about the game?
Well, first, I want to give them props for bringing it out the way they did. Like they had a set, that's what I'm looking for, like a set way to put this out there during the state of play, where they just had a narrator talk about the game and talk about what they could and couldn't do, and it came off very well. I like how they did that. It's not like, sometimes we'll see like, they'll have a developer there playing some, bullshit that they've had pre-ready to set up and ready to go. Like Forza runs in my mind. Like when they have people with the controller and they're talking about the game while they're playing it. I've never really liked that style. I like that they had a narrator kind of discuss certain things going on during the game, where it wasn't just somebody sitting on the couch with someone with a microphone in their face asking about the game. It was a good reveal for the gameplay of the game. So I love that aspect of it, the way it was presented. They went through the character, a little bit of the story, combat, the other form of combat, and then wrapped it up. And that's how it should be when you're using the game. That's how you show off a new game. You just don't have someone sitting on the couch talking about something while gameplay is running in the background, and it just didn't seem right. But I like the way they did it for state of play, so I give them props for that.
Nice.
So the game itself, I've been looking forward to this game. I've always said that this was probably going to be my last PlayStation 4 game. So I was kind of tinkering with Last of Us 2, but I'm going to hold off on that one for now. I am going to get this one, though. So this will most likely be my last PlayStation game for this generation. So, and I love ninja shit, like swords and shit like that. I'm like Dark, man. Like, you give me a fucking sword and let me slice some shit up, good to go. It did look a little easy with the combat, but again, they're trying to show you something. They don't want you to sit there for an hour trying to fight a character. So I'm not even knocking that aspect of it. The downgrade stuff that you guys are talking about, I remember when we were doing the live show, I said I want to wait till I see, the uncompressed version of it. And yeah, the downgrade's there. It's noticeable. My biggest concern that they didn't discuss, and I don't know if this is like maybe teeter in line with another issue, but is it going to be able to be played on the PlayStation 5? If I buy it now, is it going to be compatible with the PlayStation 5? Because they haven't really talked about that. I haven't seen anybody say anything about it. Like
they haven't announced anything. All right, so I'm going off of just like my educated guess. I think any of the newer games will be playable on the PS5, but I think there will be. I don't think you'll get any of the extra bells and whistles. You see what I'm saying? But I think that with their backwards compatibility and all that good stuff, I think, it'll be playable in terms of back compat with PS4 games. I don't see why they would ignore the latest games to come out. And that's just me guessing there. They really have not said anything.
What I hope too, but you're right. I haven't seen anything said, because like, again, you look at Microsoft and some of the other companies like Cyberpunk and stuff like that, they're like, you can play it on your Series X. Buy it now, you can play your Series X. They haven't said anything like that with any PlayStation game, so I'm kind of like, I don't know, because at the beginning of this generation, you had to rebuy those games. You didn't get Last of Us. You had to go back and rebuy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know if they're going to do the same thing with this generation. So that was something I was hoping they would have talked about, but I mean, it's still early. The game comes out, next month? July. So there's time for that to develop. They got the show coming up in June, so maybe that stuff will come out.
Well, the rumor is June, and it's a pretty solid rumor, but it's still a rumor. You know what I'm saying? Again, I think that's something. When we come together in the DMs and we get into the hangouts and stuff, I think one of the typical things that's said or typed in the DM all the time is like, "Yo, where's Sony right now?" Like, Yo, there's questions that need to be answered. Where the hell are they, man? I
You
know.
know how I am. I'm always. It's not what you're showing me. It's what you're not showing me. Like I want to see the way your character progresses as combat. What different moves you can do with the character. Is it just him hacking a sword? Is there other stealthy things? Like how does your character grow during the game? Like his combat and stuff like that. One thing that I did notice on here that I don't think anybody's really talked about is like when they're watching the demo. When I was watching the demo, like the guy can go to different stances and stuff. Like we haven't really talked about that much, even after the show that we did the other day. Like certain stances or more, I guess it helps them kill enemies faster. They got more power and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I think there was another game similar to that where you can change your stance. I forgot what the fuck name it was. It was another Japanese type game like this, but I can't remember what it was. But the downgrade, like, I'm not worried about that. I mean, the game still looks good the way it is. I'm not really. I mean, it happens. We see games early; they have it the best assets they're going to get it at, and then by the time it gets to the console version, things have to get pulled out. So, not really disappointed. The game still looks good. I'm looking forward to it when it comes out. So, it's definitely a must buy.
All right. Well, now we know we're gonna skip Predator when we talk about the whole downgrade situation and everything like that, because he already just shared.
I was gonna say, I was like, you're just gonna let him say it, and then
I
cut me right off.
I heard you guys talk about it, and I didn't know if we were still kind of going that route or not.
That's Predator. He half listens
for 20 minutes, so I didn't know.
Yeah, Pred half listens to the conversation until he hears his name, and then he'll chime in like.
I told you to go to Crispy next, so hey.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. Yo, Crispy, you are next in line, and I definitely won't forget about K Mega on this. So, Crispy, I gotta ask if did you check out the 18 minutes of gameplay, the state of play, Ghost of Tsushima?
Absolutely, I thought it was they're going for immersion. They really want to push immersion. I do believe that, I actually agree with some statements saying, the wind is kind of a nuance, as I like to say. I like the animal aspect of it. I really thought that was very clever.
Well, let people know what are they doing with the animals per se for people who didn't check it out.
Well, you have to realize that at least samurai culture, not necessarily Japanese as it is now. Samurai culture is very to the earth, to the beings, as I like to call them, and they've called them around them, and animals can feel things too. That's the way I feel about animals. So. It's not illogical that, you're trying to protect your land or whatever. Like, it makes sense. The fact is that, the horse traversal seems fluid. You know what I mean? It seems very fluid. The only gripe I really have is that I think, and it looked really easy, but I think the beginning of the game is going to be a lot of trouble for people. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like I was watching somebody fighting a match in For Honor in the beginning of the game. And I feel that's just going straight off of the Japanese culture of the samurai themselves. And the samurai is very, like stare downs. Like they really did a great job of making you feel like a samurai. But the transition, which I believe is going to happen somewhere through the game, unless they are smart about it and you can go to the way of the samurai the whole time. I just don't feel the cutscenes I've seen from not necessarily what we've seen, a couple days ago, but I'm talking about before. You know what I mean? They're gonna push you into a Tenchu type, experience.
I get a big Tenchu vibe from this.
Yeah, but you get it towards the, not the beginning. I really think that they did a great job because they showed you that you're gonna almost progress into that. The only problem is that some people might not want to do that, and that's the only thing that I kind of question at this point. And this is after me stewing about it for a couple days. I'm like, well, some people might want to go the way of the samurai. And are they going to, is the story itself actually going to change into that? And I mean, that would be brilliant if they could do it. You know what I mean? But in the end, you know, I want to play as that dark lord, like, you know, I am the greatness and I can go and stab people in the back and shit. That's the way I want to play. But I don't believe everyone wants to play like that. And if they can meld those two together and allow you to have the, you know, a similar story, but being honorable to the Japanese culture, that would be really cool. But that's what I've seen from it. I mean, it looks gorgeous. It really does. The game looks gorgeous. I think their play, at first I was questioning how they're going to, you know, have your waypoints and this and that. I mean, the wind is, like I said, kind of a nuisance to me. It really doesn't make sense as far as that. Like, you could just have the arrow above you or something. You still would be immersed.
I was going to say, if they're going for complete immersion, I can understand where they would want to try to do something like that. But when it comes to the developers that are making this, and as they're making that wispiness kind of go in the direction you're supposed to go, at some point in time, it's like, guys, this isn't working. Like, yo, this isn't this. It looks like something that's layered on top of the game itself.
But when you see him going towards the way of the wind, and then you see the animal pop up, and then you're like, oh shit, let me go this way.
Yeah.
So I understand the exploration. I mean, it's a big world. I think we could all say that. But the only thing is I don't see anything but combat when you're going into an actual, you know, little village or something like that. That's all I see is it's constantly combat. And I feel like there's a lot of people that would enjoy just sitting there for a second and looking, you know, and you know, you'll have your little things like it's a shop or something, you know what I mean? And you just have one village that's not, you know, and maybe you go back later and they're getting oversieged by the Mongols. Mm-hmm. But in the end, you know, you've went through there, you've seen the beauty of it, you've seen the beauty of the game,
and then you see it like all torn up and everything.
Yeah, and I think that would be cool. And I don't know, idea, you know, I don't know what they're actually.
They might have that in there too. We don't know.
You know what I'm saying? But I've seen like they've a lot of people are hyping this up, and the problem I have is they've already released a lot of different things, a lot of cutscenes, a lot of other stuff. So the only thing is are you adaptable? Because this is a game that I was almost like, man, if they said this was for PS5, I might buy it, because I had Tenchu vibes like you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, I haven't played Tenchu in freaking 15 years, dude. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like this looks spectacular. It looks exactly what I want it to be. And you have all these little elements that I can kind of play tricks on people's minds. And I love that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what are you giving me? Like I want PlayStation to say, hey, you buy Last of Us 2, you buy Ghost of Tsushima, you're getting it day one on the PlayStation 5 if you buy it.
I mean, they might. We just don't know yet, man.
But that's where I go and say, like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like dude, like, I'm not a huge single player game, but I'll tell you right now, like, that, you know, Ghost of Tsushima is what I'm talking about. I didn't see a lot of bullshit in between. I saw a lot of me controlling the character and doing what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And that's what I enjoyed about it.
Nice, brother. An incredibly detailed opinion, man. Definitely appreciate that. And, you know, I will say you're right. Even when they showed kind of like the ghost side to the combat, it was, you know, throw the firecrackers down. He went down, he assassinated 2 people. But he even eventually got into standard like samurai combat at one point in time, I believe. When he went up into that dark corner, he pulled out his sword ready for like samurai combat. And I do like that idea about the villages as well. Visiting them before they get attacked and then seeing kind of like the change afterwards. And again, that might be in the game. We don't know that yet. But I want to give a huge shout out to my Crossfire brother, my Destiny 2 brother, Gaming Forte, for hitting up that super chat and supporting the channel and the show. Thank you, bro. He said, pouring liquor out for the Xbox that said downgrade. Brother, we are going to get into that. Trust me, we are going to get into that. Now, let's go to K-Mega. Now, K-Mega, if I had to guess, right, after watching this 18 minutes of gameplay, I would be like, yo, this game is right up K-Mega's alley. So I got to know, man, what did you think about... I mean, I got to ask, did you check out the 18 minutes? Did you check out the state of play?
Yeah.
All right. So I got to know, man, what are your thoughts, your opinions, your likes, your dislikes? And after we talk about, you know, your general thoughts, we'll get into this whole quote-unquote downgrade situation. So what did you think, man?
It's a PlayStation game. I don't care. Next question. No, I'm just playing. Anyway. So, all right. So, no, I thought it's right up my alley. I'm just like with Pred. This is my last PlayStation 4 purchase. I'm not worried or
Dude, it's the last big game coming out, though. So
yeah,
makes sense.
I'm not worried about The Last of Us 2. They can have that. But you know, but this is definitely up my alley. I mean, everything about the game, in the sense of you know, the atmosphere. I know we're going to talk about the graphics here, so I'm going to stay away from that. But just the whole premise. I mean, it's you know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Sekiro, but it seems a lot of deeper lore. Maybe we'll see. We'll find out. But yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a buy. I was talking about this game when they first showed it back in 2018. So, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm cool. And of course, it's something different for Sucker Punch to make, because really they've only made Sly Cooper and Infamous. So the Infamous game. So yeah, so it's another breath of fresh air for them to try to step out of the box and see what they can do. Now, with that being said, there are some things that's got me concerned, and the one thing is the combat. Not the fact that it's that the combat looks bad or anything like that, but it looks very slow. I don't know how many people are going to really gravitate to that, because what it reminds me of is old school Assassin's Creed, Tenchu mixed with a sprinkle of Bushido Blade. And Bushido Blade is not one of those type of fighters that anybody could just jump in and play. This going to be one of those things where if this game isn't easy for casual gamers, it's going to turn them off immediately. Another thing that I have that I have questions about is okay, since it's going to be this, you know, stealth kills, all this type of stuff. The one thing that I don't like with all types of games, I mean, you can talk about with the newer Assassin's Creed, everything else. If you're going to have these big open worlds, I expect you guys to have an abundance of animations to add with the kill, with the secret kills to now if you're going to this like, slower
kind of
play
like
style.
Uncharted 4, right? Where like when you were taking them out and it depended on where you were with the wall, you would get a different animation. And...
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's those type of things is that I'm like, okay, since you're already going to be using the button prompts, kind of like, you know, God of War-ish a little bit, then I want to see more special kills. I don't want to see the same 5-6 animations to kill my enemy, because that's going to get old real quick. That's one of my other concerns. And like my other concern is, like, I can play any type of game pretty much and just kind of get into its lore and however it's trying to do, but it is kind of concerning because I'm a person that's more into the hack and slash, Ninja Gaiden, those type of games, and Devil May Cry, and it seems like to me is that a lot of developers are trying to get away with that and go to the Bloodborns and the Sekiro styles and Neo styles, and I hope to God that's not the case, because
it doesn't seem like it, man. Like,
yeah, well, I hope not, because it's to me is you have to bring those type of, you got to keep those type of games available. I know Dead or Alive, I mean, Devil May Cry 5 just came out last year, but it just seems like the more and more I'm seeing the same type of, and I'm not into the Dark Souls. I'm just not. It's not something that I get. It's a waste of time for me.
Have you given them a fair shake? Because, you know,
I bought them. I bought
Okay.
Dark Souls 2 and I bought Dark Souls 3 on my PC when I first got my PC.
I'm just acting like the fans out there,
playing it,
you know,
and I'm like, the controls are absolutely disgusting. I hate it. So I hate it. So no, I can't do it. Sekiro, on the other hand, that's fine.
Watch your mouth, K Mega.
Hey, it's fine. It's fine. I saw gameplay of me playing that game. So I need to show gameplay of me playing and I like Bloodborne. Bloodborne's, it's more kind of that Dark Souls ish, but it's still, the controls are better. I can't stand
that's probably their best game, to be honest.
yeah. So that's, to me, it's like, the controls has got to be right, because that's another thing that I don't think anybody is really is looking at. They're just looking at how, visually how it looks, instead of like, what are these controls going to be like? How many buttons that you got to press in order to do this, that. So that's why I'm saying it might not be as technical as some people think. It might be easy, because we've seen the demonstration of how what the developer was doing, or whoever was showing how the fighting stances and things like that it is. And they probably was playing on the easiest level to get you there. But I don't think that game, it's going to have a easy, medium, and then probably when you beat the game or whatever, you'll have a crazy mode or whatever, just where it's just almost impossible. But I want to know about those controls, because if it's anything, if anybody's played games like Bushido Blade, which I enjoy Bushido Blade a lot, 1 and 2, it's going to be really slow for a lot of gamers. That's my only concern, and I'm still going to get it though.
All right, so yeah, I can kind of see what you're saying. The only thing that I can say when it comes to the style, if it is that slow paced, if you look at the consumer base on the PlayStation side, they have like 110 million consoles out there. So there definitely might be a community of disappointed gamers who picked it up. It's a Sony exclusive. They picked it up, and then they're like, "Yo, what the hell is this in terms of the fighting?"
But yeah, that's the one concern I think that they have, because if you can play anyway, like they say you can, well then if you're just going in, you can stealth everybody. Then that's cool too. But
I hope it's that way. Like, if that's kind of how they're promoting it.
No, you can't stealth no boss. There's gonna be boss scenes. So you're gonna and that stance right there is definitely going where you're gonna get into the samurai stance. That samurai stance. That's for boss fights. That's mainly for boss fights, or for like generals.
You get the samurai showdowns where it's like you and that one person.
Gonna do whole. Doom, 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 all that kind of shit. Like, they're going to be dope. So, but those fights are going to be slow. They're not going to be fast. And you know what I'm saying? Now, the one thing is, like what I said, Bushido Blade is the instant kill. Now, if you're skilled enough to do an instant kill on a boss, that shit will be hot. But like I said, how many people are going to gravitate to it? How will those controls feel when you're actually playing the game? That's the only concern that I have.
Nice. And, when it comes down to it, I do have to say this is a breath of fresh air. And I know I've gone on record talking about Sony's Blueprint, right? Third-person action adventure, and this is still third-person action adventure, camera over the shoulder. But one thing I like about it, the environment is so different. I was telling Dark this after during the live stream, but after the showing of the gameplay, I was like, dude, I don't have to question on whether or not they're using the same assets that they used in Uncharted 4. Or where when I was looking at God of War, I'm like, yo, are those the same like leaf patterns and stuff from like Uncharted? And I had to question at certain points in time if they were literally just handing over assets that they used in previous games to make new games. One thing I really like about this, as you can see with like the natural bonsai tree and stuff like that, like, you can tell that like there are new assets here, and it's really good to see them come out with a game like this. When it comes to Sucker Punch, when I did have the PS4, Infamous Second Son was one of the games I really enjoyed playing. So, with that being said, all right, it came out, of course, on social media, because when it comes down to it, especially with people doing the whole stay-at-home thing, social media, everybody's there. Everybody has an opinion. Now, one of the things that came out, again, was a downgrade when it came to this game, saying that the first thing that they revealed is not what they are showing this past week with the state of play. Now, with this, I want to give a shout out to Optimus Code real quick. He was on Crossfire last night, and we were talking about this. And Optimus put out, is it really a downgrade if they took some things away from the graphics but added like 20 frames per second? Would that be considered a downgrade? And I was like, you know what? That is a great question. It was a great thing to put out there for people, when it comes down to it. So I changed my tune and I said, graphical downgrade. Graphically inferior to what they showed in the reveal. Now, a couple of the things that I saw here, in terms of a graphical downgrade, I see a graphical downgrade when it comes to what they first showed and what they showed this past week. Now, from what I've seen, when the horse is running across the fields and you have those plants with the white tops, yes, guys, I don't know what they are, all right? But you would see the horse, and the horse was literally trampling the plants as he was going forward in the reveal, right? It really, there was something there with the physics, the everything was connecting, the plants were bending and pushing down where the horse was going. I did not see that in the state of play. Not only that, in terms of graphic downgrades, in the cutscenes, when it comes to the player models, in the horse itself. And as I'm talking about this, guys, if you are able to, watch the videos as I'm talking about this, because I've seen it in everything that I'm showing you guys right now. When it comes down to it, like I said, that wind of change, that's what I call it, the wind of change. I feel like it just looks out of place with the rest of the environment. Not saying that this is a trash game because of it, because I've gone on record stating if I still had a PS4, I would buy this game day one. I am very interested in kind of like the backdrop, the lore, even the fighting style, which, yes, K-Mega, I think when it comes down to it and you have a samurai showdown, it is going to be more methodical. It's going to be more purposeful in terms of like your actions and your swinging of the sword. Me personally, I don't mind that. I think it's a nice change when it comes down to it. But I can see what you're saying in terms of like the more casual type gamers. But again, graphically, I saw, when it comes to physics, I seen a downgrade in certain things, like when it comes to the plants. I think they're using a different lighting solution as well. The lighting didn't look as good in terms of glowing through the tree leaves, through the plants on the ground, the things that are supposed to be kind of like semi-transparent. But those are some of the things that I saw. K-Mega, I ended with you. I'm going to start with you right now. When it comes down to it, I again, shout out to Optimus Code, because he got me to think in a direction I never thought of before. So, we can't really say downgrade in terms of the whole game, because if they're doing this to like bump up frames per second or something like that, is it really considered a downgrade then? But graphically, did you see a difference between the original reveal and then what we saw this past week?
Absolutely. I mean, it's right there. I mean, you're just showing it right here. I mean, there's videos out where people are showing the difference between the 2018 reveal and what's being shown today. The problem is well, I should say the situation is how much do the person that's excited for this game, how much do they care? Like, I mean, there's certain things that I think is unnecessary. Like, I never got into the whole Puddlegate situation. I thought that was stupid. Or the stuff with God of War, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's ridiculous.
Chris says no downgrade. Chris says no downgrade.
Listen, I mean, listen. There's going to be people that's going to lie and say whatever they want to. I don't care.
I'm saying, I put it right there in front of them.
It's right there in your face, man. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't matter to you, if you're one of these people that's been capping about graphics and all this type of stuff and think that that's the most important, then yeah, you should have a problem with it. But I don't. I mean, it's evident right there. They wanted to showcase the game. I mean, it didn't stop me or Pred or Def Jam, you know what I'm saying, to stop playing Division, because that was the first Division or the second Division. When they first showed the first Division, the downgrade was evident.
Yo,
like, I mean, it didn't look
and we got the whole
anything like what.
Watchdog Gate thing, man.
Right. I mean, you know, and Anthem, you know how much I love Anthem. What they showed at that trailer and what you see, even though that game is absolutely beautiful,
I think that's a good comparison right here, to be really honest with you.
that I think that's a perfect comparison. That's why I brought it up. Is, listen, Anthem looks amazing, but it didn't look like that trailer. So, you know, or that reveal. So, it, like I said, it is what it is. I'm not going to harp on it. Like we was talking about it on GRG last night, and it's just like I said. Look, you know, I mean, nobody's afraid of any of these cowards that want to hide behind the internet and want to talk bad about you because you got your opinion. But it's the point of the matter is that they will come because they don't like you saying anything bad about precious Sony. And the fact of it is that they should just go ahead and just admit it and say, hey, look, there is a downgrade, but so what? It's the game that I want. It's what I'm copping at day one, and a lot of people will shut up about it.
That's all that has to be said. Like,
that's all that has to be said.
People
right?
Are
like, why are you fighting? Why are you fighting? It makes no sense. Like, I mean, let people have their opinions. You guys have your opinions all the time. And listen, and like I you know, give a little brief statement of what I said last week. Gamers get in their own way because they listen to somebody else. I give two shits about what somebody else thinks about the games that I play, the games that I like, graphics, whatever the case may be. If I want it, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna enjoy it. Hell, I'll be damned if I let somebody I don't know interfere into my enjoyment. That's garbage. So it's not even an issue in my, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion. I think it's evident, it's there. I think once you see you gotta also tell whoever that's at Sony to get their shit together with how they want to show their games off, because that stream was ass juice. It was horrible. It was horrible. And I even went back to see what they did with because off of my television, you could get 4K YouTube. I went back to see if they was going to put something up like Xbox did with Inside Xbox to let it, to let them see how they, compress it or whatever you call it. And
well, they didn't get a backlash like Xbox did either.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's crazy to me. Is like, okay, fine. I mean, but that's just the difference, and that's why I said what I said last week. PlayStation gamers, they're all about enjoying their games. Mm-hmm. They're not giving two damns about what somebody else is saying about their games. Now, they will come out and they'll talk trash back and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if they want that game, they're going to get it, and they're all going to be excited about it. Xbox gamers have to wait to see if PlayStation fans are going to say, oh, you know what, that is kind of cool. They're never going to say it, so why worry about it?
Dude,
so it's just like that with that. So
that's something I have been saying when it came to the whole resolution thing. And I remember specifically, I don't remember the person, but I remember talking about Quantum Break, right? And somebody said, I don't know what the resolution is. An Xbox dude, I don't know what the resolution is, so I don't know if it's good. Like, I'm like, why would you even, like, something as trivial as, whether it's 900p or 1080p, like, how is everything about that game hanging on that one coat rack? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you hanging the entirety of the game on its overall resolution, man? It's an issue we have had.
I mean, they started resolution gate. They started all types of gate, and then when Xbox fans has tried to come out and try to start their own little gates, it gets killed because because PlayStation fans don't care. They like, look, they'll bring up everything else in its wake, and that's, to me, and that you got to give PlayStation fans props because they care about their games. It doesn't matter. They may have inner fights about certain games and stuff like that amongst their circles, but when it comes to the overall, like when somebody else that may not be a PlayStation fan comes out and say something negative, they all jump on that person. You don't get that with Xbox fans, and I don't say that it's not right because I think everybody should be objective. You can't
there's some Xbox gangbangers out there, man. Trust me, I've seen.
There definitely is, but I'm saying it's more, you know what I'm saying, but But when it comes down to it, if you were excited about something that Xbox showed,
Then be excited.
keep that same, be excited. Show that same energy. Don't listen to some bullshit.
Somebody
just
tries
because,
to say something, I don't give a fuck.
then
I'm
next
gonna
thing
be
you know,
playing.
well, man, I don't know, man. You know, I was talking like Barrett on Final Fantasy VII Remake. Nah, I don't know. Them suckers making me mad
Oh,
now.
no.
I think, you know what I'm saying? Shit. All right, man, I'm done.
Dang.
Oh, yo, let's go to Pred real quick. Yo, Pred. Oh, hold on. I'm skipping you. You already said what you. Okay, I am skipping you. You know, let's go to Crispy, and I promise to try not to forget about to not forget about Dark. Okay, but Crispy, you heard what I said. Yo, there's certain things, level of detail that was definitely in the reveal. I didn't see anything in terms of, early development or anything kind of like plastered on it, which I feel should have been plastered on it in the first part, the reveal. But they probably wanted the cleanest image as possible. Nothing written in there, and it is what it is. But did you see a downgrade from what we have been seeing here? Again, I've taken bits and pieces of the reveal and what we saw in State of Play. What do you think? Was there a graphical downgrade to Ghost of Tsushima?
Okay, so the graphical downgrade I didn't notice until we got to the nighttime, and he was playing as the ghost, as I like to call it. You know what I mean? He's trying to be Tenchu.
Okay.
And the reflections compared to the nighttime in the first trailer were apparent. And the one thing Sony's good at is not saying what they're running on. Yes, they said in this recent trailer they're running on the PlayStation 4 Pro, but there was nothing said about the first trailer. And I truly believe they're running it on a PC to make it look as good as possible.
Possibly spec'd out to PS5 maybe, and
and I mean that's speculation, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely saw assets that are not on the PS4 Pro. I'm just saying. It's not even, I mean, it's barely, minuscule on the Xbox One X. I mean, we always say, like, you're going to push it to the limit. They weren't pushing anything then. They were just showing you the game in the beginning. And I think they went for the greatest common denominator, which is, a PC can run it better. Mm-hmm. And you know what? In the end, I didn't have anything to say about when the light was on. The problem is, most of the play you saw was with at least some kind of decent light, or maybe the sun was going down a little bit. And then when we got to the darkness, I didn't notice any water. I didn't notice anything. There's very little reflections from what I saw.
Oh,
and that's where I go and say, okay, you can disagree with me, that's fine. But I've went and watched both on my 4K TV, which is pretty amazing. I'm just saying.
I think you like your TV, man. That's all
I'm just saying. And I also looked at them not on stream through the uploaded video, and I saw two totally different games, in my opinion. I felt much more in depth with the way the game looked in the first part, but I also loved the gameplay from the most recent one. And that's where I go and say, okay, they did the right things. They pushed what they wanted to. The only thing is, and I always have a problem with people, I've watched gameplay, and I'm going to go back to Gears, and I have played. Anybody remember when Rod Ferguson walked up when they showed the gameplay for Gears 4 on the E3 stage? Everybody remember that? That is what we played. I'm just telling you, especially when you got to the Xbox One X, we played that. And that's what I'm saying. We are going to play what they just showed. And if you're happy with that, I'm fine with that. What I'm saying is, don't act like it wasn't a downgrade. It's not the hugest downgrade I've ever seen. I've seen far worse.
Watch Dogs, we're looking at you, Watch Dogs.
But in general, it was at least gameplay. They showed gameplay and they showed what it's going to look like. And if you're excited for that, I got no problem with it.
Nice. And on that note, I do want to shout out to our brother Lucifer hitting up that super chat, supporting the channel and the show. Thank you, brother. And at first I thought I was going to have K-Mega read this, but I think it's clear I can read this, man, because I feel it's a compliment towards me. He said both consoles have their good and bad. It's not like K-Mega videos and Xbox videos where there is a clear winner. Thank you so much for liking my videos, Lou. I really, really do appreciate it, man. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to compete with K-Mega over videos. I do a lot of hard work on the quality of my videos, and I appreciate that, but you really shouldn't put K-Mega down like that, man. That's all I got to say. Wow, no response either. Oh, my goodness. Dark, what do you think? I know you tried to get into it, and then, I kind of stopped you real quick, all right? And then I let Predator go, and you felt some kind of way about it. But we're back at it, man. What do you think about this? And again, I'm rewording it to graphical downgrade, because Optimus Code, he made sense with it. It's like, well, if they take away some of the graphics, but they add to the performance, like and they add like 20 frames per second or something like that, can you really call it a downgrade? And I'm like, you know what? You're right, man. So in terms of the graphical nature, did you see a downgrade between the reveal and then what we saw with State of Play?
No, I don't see that stuff, dude. I don't give a shit about that stuff. Like that kind of stuff just it never crosses my mind. I never sit there and say, damn, this game looks downgraded. I always usually look at the game and I'm just like, oh wow, this looks good. Okay, I'm ready to play it. I don't care. I don't even go back to look at other old videos like some other people do out there where they're just like, I'm gonna look at the old.
Are you taking shots at me right now?
I probably am, but I'm not like that, dude. I don't get into that stuff. I think, it was like the whole thing with Spider-Man. It was downgraded. There's Puddlegate, and I'm just like, I don't care.
Well, dude, the only reason I got into that, the only reason why I got into that, because there was a significant change.
No, it was not even that significant enough to even give a shit about. Okay. Why you even care? It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. Because you know why? At the end of the day, you're still going to play the game and you're still probably going to enjoy it. Except for you didn't enjoy Spider-Man, which is understandable for you because you're a huge
dude. It sounds like
Spider-Man
you had a hard
fan.
time saying understandable. It's like it's
it was a little hard. I don't know why. I still don't understand it. But for me, it's like, dude, I don't care about downgrades. I just like, I'm gonna play the game. I mean, for me, this did not look downgraded. I just thought of it as like, oh, okay, yeah. Show me more and actually, honestly, I don't even want to see any more of this game. I just want to play it. Period.
Okay, well, if that's the case, brother, we will move right along then. All right.
Move right along.
We will move right along. And all right, I'm trying to think if we should go UE5 or Sony. Let's go Sony. I'm bringing your gameplay back up, K-Mega. I hope you don't mind, man.
Go ahead.
All right, no doubt. Guys, it has come to my attention that Sony might be doing a little shenaniganizing in their digital store. What am I talking about? I am talking about the game The Last of Us 2, which is one of the most anticipated games on a lot of gamers' lists out there. Funny thing is, it was brought to my attention, if you go to the digital store and you check out The Last of Us 2 and the limited edition, whatever they're calling it, you will notice that there are 5-star ratings on that game already for both copies, even though those copies the game's not out yet. All right? And the only way for us gamers to do a review in the Sony digital store is to purchase the game, and then when it's launched, you review it. So with that being said, We know there's a lot of stigma behind The Last of Us 2 with the leaks coming out and everything like that. Some people absolutely going ham out there in terms of, what is in that game. If I had to go out on a limb and assume something here, I would assume that Sony, for some rhyme or reason, is trying to pad the review scores in their digital store for The Last of Us Part 2 and the limited edition. I am talking about at least by the beginning of this week, there was over 700 5-star reviews for this game, the original one, and just about 1,500 5-star reviews for the limited edition or collector's edition, whatever you want to call it. And the crazy thing about this is, in the gaming community that we are in, there's a lot of people that talk gaming news, stuff like that. I have not seen not a peep nor a whisper about this whole situation, which I feel, if it is true, if Sony is doing this, this is a major thing that should be talked about. I would say this if it was Sony. I would say it if it was Xbox. I would say it if it was Nintendo. I was about to say Ouya, but I nobody really cares about Ouya anymore.
Stadia, and there you go.
What's a Stadia?
Oh my god.
Let's go to Predator here. I really want to hear what he has to say about this. Now, Predator, it's come out that Sony is possibly padding the review scores on their digital store for The Last of Us 2. What do you think about this? What do you think is the viability? Do you think that Sony is really in there giving 5-star reviews kind of like over time leading up to the release of this game? So this way, if there is a backlash, people that go into the digital store, they see the stars below the name. They won't really see that much of a hit in the beginning, possibly causing more people to be like, all right, this is cool. Instead of, if there's a major backlash, it's showing up right up, like automatically in the digital store. What do you think about this, man? Do you think this is possible? What do you think about what's going on here, bro?
I really haven't paid too much attention to this, but based off of what you're saying and what I'm seeing in chat, like, you can pre-order this and still make your reviews. And so, like, the honest thing is, it's not Sony, it's the people who are actually putting the review out there in the first place. You haven't played the game, why are you reviewing the game? That this doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like, I've never understood why, like, even like when Meta Who, like, you see those people jump in there and they give it a 0, they never even own the game. Like, I do like the fact that you have to actually purchase the game to make the review, but like, be honest in your review. Don't give it a 5 because you're a Sony fan. Like, be honest. Like, if the game sucks, say it sucks. Not just this game, any game. Like, you wouldn't want your fellow, brethren out there to purchase a game that just, you really didn't feel comfortable about. If someone asked me about a game that I hold near and dear to my heart, but I didn't think it was for them, I would tell them that. I wouldn't let them go buy it and sit there and say, oh, it's a 5-star game. Even though I know it kind of sucks or something in the end, like, don't do that. Like, the people who are reviewing this game right now have not even touched this game. They're just basing it off the fact that it's a PlayStation game and they're putting a 5-star on it. So that's not really fair. I mean, I don't think it's a Sony thing. I do think they should at least block it until the game comes out and it's released. That would be fair. But, to let them go in there and give it 5 stars now, I don't look at the stars. When I see a game, I look at the gameplay. If it's something I'm compatible with my style of gameplay, I'll pick it up. But I know some people who do look at reviews. Like my wife she's a Yelp knucklehead. Like, anytime we go out to eat somewhere, she's like, let's see how many stars this place got. Let's read the reviews. And all it takes is one negative review for a place like that. They had roaches, and that's just gonna go. You'll never go there again. That will always resonate in your mind. Like with these reviews though, like when you look at video game reviews, there's so many of them. It comes more based off of the consumer and the media. And if a consumer loves it, and they give it 5 stars and they actually write a decent review, then you're most likely going to go with that on top of what the journalists are saying. But if the journalists say it's a shitty game and you're getting it from the gamers as well, you're not going to pick that game up. You're just not, because we all talk. Everybody in here is on Twitter. Everybody in here is on social media. If a game sucks, you don't even need the reviews. You'll see it enough on social media. Like that's it. You don't need reviews for that shit. So I would like for even not just Sony, Microsoft too, Metacritic as well. All these places like this that have a say so in what the reviews are going to be, like this writing the reviews in general. Block that shit at least until the game comes out. At least verify the person purchased the game first. That would be great. My other issue with kind of on the lines of this is like how they blocked the downvotes and upvotes.
Well,
on
see,
the YouTube.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that would be kind of like the thing that leads more people to believe. Like I understand you pre-ordered the game, I guess you can review it or whatnot, which really doesn't make any sense to me because if you pre-ordered a game, the game's not out. I'm gonna double check on that. Like I was told that actually can't happen. Unfortunately, again, I don't have a PS4, so I can't jump in there and see what's good when it comes to that whole situation. But I think it's stupid to let people, rate a game that they pre-ordered without it, on its launch date. Then yeah, definitely open it up. But it's keep going what you're saying because I think that's the reason why more people are leaning towards is this a Sony situation rather than a people pre-order situation because
I don't know. Can you pre-order the game we were just talking about just a few minutes ago? Can you can pre-order that now? Can you write reviews on it?
Which one?
Tsushima?
Tsushima, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't pre-ordered it, but I mean, like, if you can do it on that game, I'm pretty sure you've been able to do it on previous games too. I think what you're trying to say is like it's just weird now because with everything going on with that game that, and then blocking it on YouTube where you can't vote and upvote or downvote on it on the video, that this all seems like a big coincidence now. Is that what we're trying to get at?
Yeah. Like when you wrap everything, looking at things in particular under a magnifying glass, you could be like, when it comes down to it, it could be this or that. But then when you start looking at the entire picture and you start looking at like Naughty Dog and Sony trying to protect this game now, now that the leaks are out and stuff like that, and you see them, cutting off the upvotes and downvotes so you can't see how many people are liking it or disliking it and stuff like that. Like it starts to become a total package. You see what I'm saying? And that's what would lead more people to believe that, it might not necessarily be the guys pre-ordering it, but it could definitely be Sony trying to like get those 5 stars up there to the point where if there is a huge backlash when the game comes out, it won't be noticed in the reviews for like a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I'm looking on Amazon right now just to look at Last of Us 2, and you can't even make reviews on here yet. I don't think. No, you can't do it. So
it sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me.
So, I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, you're not rating the pre-order, you're rating the game. So like the fact that they're able to go on there and do that on PlayStation is kind of shady to me. Like, and it's something that they could easily block. How many reviewers have reviewed that on PlayStation?
It's 5,000.
Wow.
At least.
Wow.
5,000. Yeah.
Yeah, if it was like
it was at 1,800 just at the beginning.
But
of
you have to go to the definitive and the other one. It's like 5,000 altogether.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, I can't agree with that. Lock that shit down. Like, that's
I gotta see if anybody out there in the chat, if you guys know, if you can record a clip of something like that, if you're going to pre-order a game, please let me know if in the Sony digital store you can rate the game and review it just by getting the pre-order. I need to know this. I'm sorry, Chris, but when it comes down to it, you could just be saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I if I get proof, I will put it out there. But again, you got to look at the entire kind of like stigma that's going around The Last of Us 2 game. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes down to it, if you look at a little piece, you can be like, yeah, it's either that or that. But when you start looking at the whole package, you start questioning it a little bit more. That's like, I think that's common sense there.
What are you talking about, Andrew Wilkins? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I don't know.
Shut up. Just leave
Pred, is there any more on this you want me to move on?
No, I'm good.
All right. So, Crispy, what do you think about this situation? You see people in the chat saying that, people who pre-order can rate it. I don't understand why would they have that open for people when it comes down to it if they know they haven't played the game yet. Like, unlock the ratings when the game actually drops. Like, that would make sense to me. But even still, when you look at the whole picture and what's going on with The Last of Us Part 2, the leaks, the kind of like backlash from the leaks, like what do you think's going on here? And to top it all off, at the end of what you think here, what in your opinion is worse? Sony trying to pad the stats, or the ability for gamers who pre-ordered the game to automatically put in a review and put in 5 stars on a game that they haven't even played yet?
So I'm going to bring this around like Xbox already knows I already do. Amazon, you have a Prime membership, right? How many millions of people do you think have a Prime membership? I would say hundreds. I'd say hundreds of millions. Okay, so you have a console that you already know you've sold 100 million consoles minimum. Okay, and you're going to sit here and you're going to tell me that every single person. I mean, what did Spider-Man sell? And what was it? 10 million plus. Okay, so that's 10% of your player base. Correct. That is the software that you want to sell because until probably 2 years ago, when you've been selling consoles at a higher premium than what they're worth, when you're paying for less technology than what Xbox is giving you at a lower price, this is where you go and say, okay, what are you going to do to damage control The Last of Us 2? After all these leaks have come out, I already know what the game's about. I'm just telling you. I'm not going to spoil
so
anybody.
do I, brother. So do I.
Okay, I already know what the game's about. Maybe if I was a huge PlayStation gamer, I might purchase it, sure. Okay, but how are you going to damage control what you have already had happen? You are going to pad it, whether because the pre-orders are going to come from hardcore PlayStation gamers, and if that's the case, shame on them. You haven't even played the game yet. That's a shame. Like, dude, if you're gonna sit here and tell me that freaking State of Decay deserves a 5-star review, you are bullshitting, bro. I'm just saying, dude. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now. I would give it 2 stars. And the only reason why I would give it 2 stars because it was unplayable for me, and I stopped playing.
It was unplayable because it didn't release yet. No, I know what you're saying, State of Decay, but The Last of Us 2 is unplayable because they can't play the game yet. Oh my god.
Well, no, it's unplayable because you haven't played it. Yeah. And the worst part is that me, who had played a game that's on Xbox, I wouldn't give it a 5-star review unless it deserved it. And that's where I go and call it's either it's you problem, and you're not going to call out the damn console you play on and you enjoy, or it's their problem, and they're trying to cover up a bunch of shit when they get those 1-star reviews of people that hate the way the narrative went in the game. And I go and say, that's bullshit. In general, to have 5,000 people review that when it hasn't been released, that is absolute crap. And I can't believe that people would, if it's actual people, would actually do that, or if it's PlayStation trying to cover up their screw up.
Either way, you're trying to pick the less of 2 evils at that point in time. And it's like, at some point in time, evil is evil, no matter what. Like, why are you trying to pick the less of 2 evils? Crispy, real quick, I want to shout out our brother, Sir X-Man, hitting up that super chat, showing love and support for the show and the channel. Thank you, brother. He says you guys should make a new X-Play show. Real gamers. Thank you, brother. Sir X-Man, appreciate it, yo.
That's where we speak of, dude. I'm a gamer, dude. Like I have played trash games that are Xbox exclusives. I played trash games that are PlayStation exclusives. I played trash games that are Nintendo exclusives, in my opinion, though. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna sit here and tell me you haven't released the game and you have 5,000 reviews already? That is bullshit. And I would be, if Xbox had the same thing, I would be the one calling it out because I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? I mean, what is the horrible launch that Crackdown 3 had? Okay? Like, they didn't give you the multiplayer you wanted, nothing. You know what I give it? 1 star. There you go. You want the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
You talk to actual gamers that are playing the game. Yes, the campaign was okay. Multiplayer, you said you're going to deliver something, you didn't do it. So I'll give you 1 star. Because that's what I'm looking for. I was looking for that destructibility and everything else. And that's where I go and say, you haven't even played the game. None of y'all played the game. And you're going to sit here and tell me that you have 5,000 reviews that are 5-star. That's bullshit.
It was so good I couldn't finish it. And I couldn't start it yet. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yo, shout out to our brother Dude in the chat who said Microsoft just goes in and deletes reviews on their own store. Now, brother, thank you for bringing that up. I will definitely look into it. And you know what I will do? I will report about it on this channel. So hopefully you are a subscriber, bro. I've seen you here week after week. I know you're a supporter of this show. I definitely appreciate it. Hopefully you are a subscriber. Yo, Supersonic is giving us 5 stars right now. But the thing is, you're checking us out right now as well. So I appreciate that, bro.
Real quick, before you go on, like I'm looking on the Windows Store right now. The first release that came to my head was Minecraft Dungeons. No stars.
No stars. Oh my.
You can't rate on it right now.
Oh my
but
lord.
Tsushima already has 164.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
there you
it's
go.
about-
That magic.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
That magic.
I
I'm
think
telling
we
you, that
stumbled
player
across
base.
something here, guys.
That player
This
base,
rabbit hole
baby.
goes a lot deeper.
Oh, really? Well,
Yes, it does.
K-Mega, I was going to you next, and Dark, I did not forget about you, brother. I'm not sure how in tune you are with this topic. It's going to be interesting when I get to you. But K-Mega, I got to ask you what you think about this. And, you know, when it comes down to it, you do have people saying, well, it's not Sony. So they're putting up that line. It's not Sony. It's the people pre-ordering. And I'm like,
Right.
yo, is that really that much better? So what do you think about the reviews going on in the digital store right now? And I'm gonna ask the question, which do you think is worse? Like Sony doing it or people pre-ordering the game and haven't even played it yet? Like what is there a worse?
Yeah. Listen, Sony fans, the stands, they're going to defend anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's some Sony fans out there that'll let a Sony executive slap the shit out of their wife or their kids, and they'll still be cool as long as they get an exclusive. That you can never listen to those type of people. The point of it is that, I don't know. I mean, maybe slap.
It sounds like
I have
that
no
happened
idea.
to you at one point. There, Mega.
I wish somebody would. But anyway, this is the thing. True. Okay. All right. So it goes a lot deeper than this. We talked about this earlier today because we wanted to get into it on GRG last night, but we just didn't have enough time. So we talked about it on Mixer today. Me, Lemon, and Six Layer. There was a video that came from this YouTuber called Upper Echelon Gamers, and he goes into a huge deep dive into this where it is all pointing at Sony. Even
Really?
to the fact that, yeah, and then when you go deeper, there's even more videos that's going out that's talking about that even, and I didn't know this, that you can look this up, that Sony got hit up, had to pay a fine in the earlier 2000s because they were review bombing in the positive way their movies. And so because they are regulated, they had to pay a fine. So why in the world would people not think that Sony wouldn't do this with their games? Let's just be real here, right? The whole situation with The Last of Us 2 has been an absolute PR disaster for Sony. Yeah. It's been absolutely a disaster. And again, you see gamers that's upset because they've said what they've had to say in a negative light, and they've shut off any comments. They shut down channels for people that's been speaking out on this situation. And it's not right, because I made this clear. It's not right for the people who leaked this information, regardless if it's a disgruntled worker, if it's a hacker, if it's whatever. Sony will never let anybody know who it really was. But with that being said, this stuff is even going to Metacritic. And all you got to do is go check out Upper Echelon's channel. And then the first thing is saying blatant fake reviews. And it was at the beginning of the week where he was putting out the stuff about, it was 1,800 reviews, all 10s, that was placed on for The Last of Us 2. And he was like, whoa.
That's weird. That's the same number that was in the digital store around that time.
Right. And so he was like, I get review copies. So, and he said, but I didn't get one. So he was asking around to people who get review copies, because he said he's been talking about some other stuff, and maybe Sony didn't like what he had to say, so they didn't give him a copy. So he asked people that he knew that would get a review copy, and they didn't get one either. So he's saying that this is pretty sketchy, because now anybody knows that, all the people he's talked to that gets review copies has not got a copy yet. And they have 1,800 reviews already. Like, I mean, and remember, you got to put in the situation where the game is was supposed to be delayed indefinitely.
Yeah.
So they weren't going to get no game until all this stuff came out. So of course, if they put out the date, and then you would think that they would start giving out these reviews. These review copies, but a lot of these people haven't even got anything. And he's like, in the video, 1,800, that's pretty significant. He's also said that when you look on Metacritic and other things with the reviews,
system, man.
Yeah, he said that it gets review bombed with all the things that got reviewed in the negative light, because there's people that review bomb and put zeros, which I totally disagree with. That game is not going to be a 0. They've been erased, but they kept all the 10s. It's the video. I'm going to post a video when I upload that video. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it because after the show, I'm going to upload GRG, and then I'll put it in both videos. But yeah, it's right there, plain as day, and he's showing the receipts, the evidence. And then it also goes a little bit more deeper. It goes to the facts of of reviews and things with like the IGNs, the GameSpots, etc., YouTubers, etc. That if you don't say what Sony wants you to, if you don't say what Sony wants to hear, they'll start taking shit away from you. Why do you think that these people are? Ad revenue is the new king around here. So why do you think that IGN and other places out here gots to say good, positive things? And if they don't, then the next competitor is going to get that next exclusive game to show or to talk about or get review copies. Because
and then it's like sell out or get sold out.
Like, man, I tell you, it was so detailed in what this guy was saying, and then all you got to do on the side of it is got other videos talking about this stuff is these fake reviews and how like money and everything else it's gotten so corrupt into the situation. That's why I never get when I knew the first time when I seen God of War 3 remaster get the better score over Gears, over the true remaster of Gears of War, I knew then something was wrong. I knew something was wrong then, and I've never had faith into it. I miss the days of game trailers, and I know that there's some YouTubers out there that are legit, and they talk legit about games and all this stuff, but people need to be aware. And shame on the Sony fans that have heard about this and will not talk about this just because they want to keep bragging about Metacritic scores and about Sony's dominance of Game of the Years. That shit, if Xbox fans did that, and I hope that when Xbox will look into it, I'll look into it too if I find anything about Xbox doing anything, because I was one of the people that was talking bad about Microsoft, and we did on this channel. When the whole Tataku thing, not Tataku, but what was that site that Microsoft was paying those guys? It's not around anymore. What was their name?
Fred, do you know? Fred, you're good at this, man.
Can you remember?
What was the question?
the site where Microsoft was paying those guys to give good reviews or something like that. It was years ago, but it still happened. We talked about it, and they got roasted for it. I can't forget what that damn show is. Somebody in the thing will probably let us know. But you know what? You can disagree with me. Go look at Upper Echelon Gamers video. It's called Fake Blatant some reviews or whatever, scores or whatever. Look at that video. It's right there. It's showing the details. It's broke down properly. It's even spoken a lot better than how I'm speaking it. But it's evident, and it's all pointing at Sony. And I understand it because I get labeled as this and that. That I'm saying this for the hate of Sony. This is just a reality, man. It's just crooked, and nobody should really give a damn about any type of scores out there because it's all tainted. And until they police it, it's only going to get worse.
You know, brother, yeah, people laugh. Like, even last night on Crossfire, I think it was Ghost of Tsushima. They asked for a Metacritic prediction, and I was like, meta who? And of course, like, they were trying to find ways to get me to, like, spit out a number, and I'm like, dude, I don't deal with broken systems. Like, people laugh at me for not, like, you know, getting into Metacritic and stuff like that, but what you're saying right here is one of the key things, man. Like, when it comes down to it, they're not trying to be as accurate as possible. They're letting things go by. Like, there's no reason to go to Metacritic and to hold that number up as something more than what it is. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to put any type of accuracy out there. Metacritic is just trying to get people to their website the way any other website is doing right now, and it's damaging to the community. It's damaging to the industry. And before we go on, real quick, I want to shout out our brother Lucifer one more time with that super chat.
Lou!
Yo,
hey, I walked away, but thank you, Lou, for the first one. I needed to hear Bot say that.
It was a compliment towards my video, man. My videos.
I read it. I read it, but it wasn't a compliment.
Each to their own. I guess you have a different perspective, but the way
All
saw
I see
it,
is winner is across the screen and K Mega's gameplay on the left side right there.
Right.
That's okay.
Well, he said Xbox gave Battletoads a 10 out of 10 on the store before it released. LOL, Sonic is a Game Pass stan.
One more thing. Let me tell you how much garbage this is. Remember just a couple of weeks ago, well, maybe about a month and a half ago, when somebody used my name to give a fake score to Bleeding Edge? They did it. They remember I showed that on Twitter, and Metacritic hit me back up and was saying, "We'll take care of it." That just shows you right there how ridiculous it is. You cannot let just people you can't let people just come out here and just say whatever they want to say. There has to be some kind of a system behind it, and you can't have people review games that haven't even actually played it yet. That's absolutely ridiculous. And these companies have to be held responsible. Doesn't matter if the game is getting PR bombed or not. All these companies have to be held responsible, especially with this. And if this stuff keeps going, then what it's going to do is going to make Metacritic look more irrelevant instead of for what it's properly used for. So people, use your common sense, man. Stop using your emotions and your hurt feelings because I'm saying something about your beloved Sony. Get your ass in there and start doing some research, man, and start thinking about doing the right thing. Good Lord.
Check your Twitter chat for the podcast.
Okay. Who, me?
All of y'all.
All of us. All right, I'm gonna try to do that, real quick. But as I'm doing that, let's go to my brother Dark real quick. Dark, that has to be a lot of information to kind of take in, and I'm not even giving you like 2 seconds to really absorb all that. I'm coming right at you, man. It started on the Sony digital store, so we'll start there. And you heard everything that K Mega said as well. Dude, what is your take on what's going on here with the reviews? Like, I saw people in the chat saying those are pre-order people, and they're giving it 5 stars, and I'm like, you look at everything as a whole.
Oh snap! Oh my goodness, Pred. There it go. I've been seeing that, and I have not ever. Wow.
I
Fred,
really
right?
got it.
No, I'll just tell you to you. Fred went into to the PlayStation 4, hit up and we knew what it was because for the way it sounded like an engine. I know that. But
Wow,
anyway,
dude, that's a little
but
jab right there.
he pre-ordered Ghost of Tsushima, and it has a rating system right there at the right side. And so Fred checked it, and you have a choice to hit it for 5 stars or less.
So
Right
they're
now.
Wow.
allowing pre-orders like pre-order people to rate the game before it comes out, which
Yes.
that also, that does pad the review scores for when the game officially
Mhm.
releases as well. Damn. Yo, Dark, what do you think about this whole situation?
Cold-blooded.
Dude, I'm almost at a loss for words right now, man.
God, exposed. Sony fans, show your outrage right now. Join us. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Chris, already when you got it, he says it's not padding. Oh my God.
Wow.
Dude, people who aren't playing the game are giving it 5 stars already.
Wow.
Dude, I'm sorry, bro. Like I'm speechless right now. I'm not even kidding. Like,
Dude, we
like,
came across
like,
some shit right here, yo. Oh my
dude,
goodness.
we, you know what, dude? Like, we might disagree on what games we like, but if for the most part, if Xbox releases a trash game, we fucking call that shit out. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if that shit was happening on my console that I prefer, I would be calling that shit out. I'm sorry. And I'm going to be honest right now. I see a lot of people that are YouTubers that are bigger YouTubers than even what we're on right now
Aren't
that
covering this.
that are PlayStation gamers, okay, that have been calling this shit out. They literally have PS somewhere in there, okay, are calling this shit out. And I respect them for that.
Nice.
Because you know what? That's bullshit. That is bullshit. You shouldn't be influencing whoever's going to purchase that game and not like it just off of pre-ordering that shit. That is crap.
Holy crap. Yo, Dark, get in on this, man. I know it might be a touchy subject, but yo, let us know how you feel here. So, when it comes down to it, I when I first heard about this, I was like, man, is Sony doing this because of hiding the down votes, up votes on a lot of stuff when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2, but Pred even went and did what he did live, put the video in there, so they're allowing people who pre-ordered to automatically put a rating down for the game. Man, this what do you think, bro?
I think this is a bigger deal to you guys than it is to me.
I didn't know how to gauge your whole thing, but why do you say
you
that?
You know how I am. I just I don't really look at reviews at all like that. But especially like when it comes to like something on the PlayStation Store or on the Microsoft Store, I don't look at the reviews on there at all. Like I just know like the kind of games I like, and if I'm excited for it, I pre-order it. If I don't pre-order it, it's just because I'm waiting to see what other people think of it. It's just I think to myself that
Hey, Dark,
this is
hold on,
probably
before you go any
go ahead.
further,
I figure you're gonna
before you go any further, and I do want to hear this, but I also want to hear you say out loud this super chat, if you don't mind, bro.
Yeah, man. PS has more padding than maxi pads.
Yeah. And who is that from?
That's from Lucifer.
Yo, shout out to Lucifer, brother. Thank you for the support. I'm sorry. I really wanted Dark to say that. It might be mean of me
No.
Dude,
No,
you did
it
not
wasn't
disappoint.
at all. It was funny. It was a good one. It's a good one.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, see that's the thing for me, like it's just it kind of boggles my mind a little bit that it happens, but it happens on both ends in it to a certain extent. And and it's just it might happen more on the PlayStation side than probably the Xbox side, to be honest, because they allow you to rate games before they come out. Actually, I even think Xbox allows it too. But of course, there's a lot of games out there that don't get rated because people
Oh.
reason.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah. Ooh, there's been little jabs like all night long, yo. I hope everybody is entertained by that. I know I've been giggling half the show.
I don't think I'm jabbing at anything. But I think that it just it comes down to preference for certain people. If they want to go on there and they want to do that, it is what it is. It's whatever. Like they're gonna do it. And you know what? Guess what? When Ghost of Tsushima comes out, and
Tsushima.
Tsushima.
Yeah.
Tsushima.
Yo,
I
shout
can't
out
do
to
it.
Kofi again, yo.
tried
That
to.
is my brother. Yeah.
And The Last of Us 2. At the end of the day, those games are gonna probably get high scores, except for maybe The Last of Us 2 might not. Just because of the leaks, it might not. But I mean, it's all in the future. That's the thing. People got to realize, like, this is all in the future. We don't know what the reviews are going to be for, specifically for Ghost or The Last of Us 2. It's just, I think if you're able to pre-order the game and then review the pre-order of the game, that's a little weird to me. I think
It
that's
was an
a little
incredible
weird that you would review
experience
it.
hitting pay now. Like,
Yeah. I think that's just a little weird. I don't know why they allow that to happen.
Oh, I
Come
think
on,
we
come
know.
on,
I
man.
think we know why they allow
Come
it.
on, man.
I mean,
Come
well,
on,
they
bro.
allowed on both sides.
Come on, man.
You know they
They
allowed
don't.
What do you
on both
mean,
sides.
dude? I could not review Gears 5 when it came out, dude. Even on Game Pass, dude, I could not review that. I'm sorry. It had 0 stars when I fucking
Well,
downloaded
then
it.
And
you trust me,
I
downloaded it much
there you
later
go.
than most.
But there you go. As to much as how I know what you can do on that end with the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store, I don't look at that stuff. I think we're going a little too in depth with this because it's not really something that I think people gravitate towards when they see reviews.
But it's
when they
learning
look
into
at reviews,
Metacritic, though, man.
I think more people go towards Metacritic.
People are
towards
making more,
things
getting
like that.
bonuses,
People
and other
make
people are maybe
purchases
losing out on
off that
bonuses.
shit. People
What are you
make
talking
purchases.
about?
I don't think
Metacritic
people
shit, it affects.
look on the
It
PlayStation
affects a
Store
lot
for
of things.
reviews. I honestly don't think people go to the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store to look for reviews. I don't think they do that.
I
think
do.
they look
No,
on
no,
YouTube.
I think
I
they
read reviews all the time through the
You
Xbox
look
But
at
Store.
that's the thing.
reviews?
See, you guys
Do
are
you look
talking
at
over me,
reviews?
and then I
Yo.
can't finish what
God.
I'm saying.
All right, go ahead.
Let the man speak. Come on, it's Angry Otter. He is squeaking right now.
I
and
let you guys
squealing.
talk, and then you guys talk over me, and then and I just don't think how I feel that those people
in your
go
personal world.
there to look for reviews. I think people go to more Metacritic or YouTube or things like that. I think it's more along those lines. And yeah, maybe it is getting padded. Maybe it is. I don't know for sure. You guys don't even know for sure that it's getting padded to the
It
reviews.
is.
You don't
It
know
hasn't
for
been
sure
released
though.
yet.
You don't. Do you
What?
know 100% sure that it's
It
getting
hasn't been
padded to the?
released yet.
Bro, just go watch Upper Echelon's
Do you know
Gamer's
that
video.
it's
Go
100%
look at just what
going to
Fred posted.
That's
What
the
are you
thing.
talking-
You're making it seem like
Oh.
like 100% just by looking at a video
Well,
that
dude,
you know
hold on.
that's
Real,
going to that.
real quick, Dark. One thing I will say.
That's all I'm saying.
We don't know right now. We don't know for certain if it's Sony or if it's the fans that are doing it, but we do know
Correct.
it is getting padded because
happening.
nobody is playing the game and putting the review on there. You see what I'm saying? So either it's the
It
fan
could be
base
people
doing
who
it,
work for Sony.
huh? But that would be Sony.
You ever think of that?
That would be Sony.
You ever think
are
of that
what you
as
eat,
people
bro.
who actually work? You ever think is maybe people who work for Sony who played the game? It could be that too.
So there's 5,000 people that played Last of Us
I'm
2.
not saying that's
No,
who
I'm
it is
just
for
saying,
sure.
bro.
It
No.
could happen.
What I'm saying to you is that
I'm
it
not
doesn't
saying
make
all
sense.
5,000 are.
It's like okay. I look to Amazon reviews because I will pick out the ones that are bullshit and I'll pick out other ones. There's no words involved. It's just let's put 5 stars on there. Now, granted, I will agree with you on this. I wouldn't agree with that. The problem is you have 100 million people that have a PlayStation that have to look at that, and some of them might not know what Last of Us is. Some of them might not know what Ghost of Tsushima is. And they're going to look at what that rating is, and they're going to say, man, I need to play that game. And you know what? Those people that haven't played the game anyway, that put that 5-star review, shame on you. That's what I say.
Shit.
The only thing is, K Mega, if you can at some point in time, send me the link to that video, because I think my research and the articles and stuff that I went into, I'm not sure if I saw that video where you said he's showing proof on how that type of shit is leaking over into Metacritic as well. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, so many people swear by numbers on a website called Metacritic. Metacritic. Yeah, that, it's kind of important to get out there. I'm surprised.
I posted it right there at Wednesday.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll go. I don't have my eye on the DM like 24/7.
It's called blatant fake score manipulation.
I'm just saying
Last
this right here, that I don't know enough information to even really talk on this subject anyways. So it doesn't
Dark,
bother me.
I will look into it for you, brother. And any information that I come around, I will gladly share with you, man. So this way you can have a well-informed opinion of the situation. At the end of the day, guys, and I've seen people in the chat, like, either defending or getting on offense. At the end of the day, guys, we are a gaming community, no matter what piece of plastic you prefer to play on. And when it comes down to it, we got to hold these corporations, these companies accountable for what they do. When Phil Spencer came out, and I know K-Mega disagreed with me on this, but when Phil Spencer came out and he talked about high-fidelity VR when it came to the Xbox One X, I was out there saying he needs to fulfill that promise. At the end of the day, I'm going to voice my opinion on things regardless of platform, all right? And I feel like I owe it to you guys to do stuff like this. And, you can sway it however you want. You can call it fake outrage. You can do this. You can do that. At the end of the day, guess what, guys? I'm still going to report on it, all right? And whatever happens. Now, shout out to my brother Dude, who talked about Microsoft taking reviews off of, I believe. Yo, Dude, if you're following me on Twitter, let me know what you're talking about in a DM on Twitter. So this way I can look into that properly as well. That's what we're here for, all right, guys? When it comes down to it, we share our love for games, but when these corporations are trying to do things that go against the community, all right, we need to be there to call that shit out, no matter what corporation it is. And that's something that I will constantly do for you guys. So,
yeah, and it would be a piss poor job for Microsoft to be padding scores, and they don't hit the same type of scores that PlayStation has.
Yo,
so I mean, come on,
say
man.
that again.
Look, it would be piss poor padding if Microsoft was if Microsoft was over here padding the scores, because they haven't reached the same level scores as PlayStation has. So I mean, damn, somebody who's been trying to do the shit behind closed doors needs to be fired, because they've done a horrible job.
Yo, for real.
Real talk.
Yo, Mega, I think.
I mean, I hope Bot looks into it. I'll look into it too. I totally agree with Bot on that stance. Listen, I mean, I know what I prefer for my gaming platform, but I'm a gamer at the end of the day, and if bullshit is bullshit, it needs to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? No matter who's doing it.
Appreciate it, brother. Definitely appreciate it. Yo, guys, I think that is a great note. Unfortunately, we didn't get into the Unreal Engine 5 demo. Guys, we will be talking about that. Don't worry about it. Even if I have to bring it into next Saturday's podcast, we will, because there is some confusion out there about that demo, but I don't want to do a GRG, and even Grown Women Gaming went pretty long today, if I remember correctly, and
it actually did. Yeah,
which is something, because they are on it. They are on point when it comes to you know,
That GRG, everybody was talking about, dude, you have 3+ hours. Everybody's doing 3+ hours now. Boy, trendsetters, baby. Let's go.
All right. Yo, huge shout out to the chat. Yo, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. It's been a crazy night. Had a lot of fun, talking these gaming topics. Of course, with the panel and with you guys. And I'm gonna say it because Snaps absolutely hates it. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. I'm gonna start with Pred first because Pred usually likes to get out of there pretty quick. So
he is the murder hornet.
he is the murder hornet. So Pred, when it comes down to it, great opinions as always. I think that last topic could have really lingered on really long into the night. So we're wrapping it up for now. If you get any more information, I know you'll share it with the panel and stuff like that as well. Thank you for going out there and doing what you did on your PS4 to really show where that could be coming from. That's something I know the chat and the panel really appreciates. Why don't you let them know where they can go to talk games with you, brother, and anything else you want to say for your outro, man.
Thank God I played Final Fantasy VII because I would have had to do like a long ass update because I hadn't turned that thing on forever. I was able to do that pretty quickly. So Predator Space H2OS pretty much everywhere, PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, I think it's the same. And I'll be here next week, man.
Nice, brother. And let's go to Crispy because Crispy, you're on the East Coast and Dark's on the West Coast, so you're a lot further in time. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to you, man. You are on a bunch of podcasts. As always, man, always great to have your opinion on this show every Saturday. Definitely appreciate it. You bring your heart out, man. You definitely share your opinion. With everything that we talk about, it's always appreciated. Let people know about those shows. Let people know where they can go to talk games with you, brother, and anything else, man.
Well, I'm just gonna say this, man. I'm a gamer at the end of the day, and like I said before, if Xbox was doing that shit, I would be calling their ass out too. Because at the end of the day, people look at these things. You might ignore it. You might say, I don't look at it, which I really don't, to be honest. But at the end of the day, people look at that shit, and you have a player base that is looking at that shit, and they're going to download a game. They might be disappointed. And if you're going to support that, I say shame on you, dude. If you don't like the game, you at least have to say, in my opinion, I don't like the game. But you haven't played the game yet. For the love of God. Come on, man. Like, get that shit out of here, man. But in general, at Crispy Bomb on Twitter, Crispy Bomb 28, Xbox Live. Hit me up, y'all. I'll play some games with you. Whatever you want to bring out, let's go. Just, you want to follow me, you want to watch some shit, let's go. Retro Renegades, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. This week it's going to be on Supersonic, PlayStation Fanboy, VR Head channel.
I hear he's addicted to Game Pass, by the way.
But he loves Game Pass, and he loves throbbing on Phil Spencer's knob.
Oh, wow!
Wow.
But in general, you will always find me here on the next podcast, Saturday night, 7 p.m. Let's go, baby.
Nice, brother. And let's go to Dark. Dark, man. It is always good to have you on the show. I feel kind of spoiled. It's been a couple weeks in a row. You did a live reaction with me, and I know you're just gonna break my heart at some point in time and be like, man, I gotta go to work again. But let people know where they can go to talk games with you, brother. Especially after what you said about Final Fantasy. I think people want to know where you are on Twitter, man. I'm just saying.
Just try to create stuff, aren't you, Bob?
I'm not an instigator. Lucifer in the chat is an instigator, okay?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Darkonimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live and PlayStation at the same name. And everybody out there, the reason why I wasn't talking very much today and stuff like that is just because I'm fucking tired of Shit.
And Xbot always forgets about him. Yeah.
And for Xbox, so Xbot always forgets about me. Yes,
There you
that's
go.
true too.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother. You know you are my brother on the West Coast, man. Always, yeah.
Sure, bro.
All right, and let's go to the GRG founder, the podcast that's blowing up on Mixer. My bro, been here from the beginning. My brother K Mega fire show tonight, as always. I think you, rest of the panel, that's one thing I really like about this show is the panel, really not afraid to share their opinions on everything, man. Why don't you let people know about GRG over there on Mixer, about your YouTube channel, and of course where they can go to talk games, bro.
Yeah, check out the GRG podcast live on Mixer at KMega_405. I'll be streaming something tonight. Don't know what we'll be streaming, but I'll be on tonight, and then definitely Sunday night we'll be doing Sunday fight nights where we'll be just playing all different types of fighters. For some strange reason, Sir X-Man wants to throw in Worms. World War WMD. I mean, that's not a fighter, but I mean, I'll go ahead and I'll indulge it. But we're gonna have to play some fighting games before we get into Worms. And the game is fun, but it's not a fighter. I don't know. Anyway.
No, it's not a fighter. It's a combat game, but not a fighter. Yo, shout out to Sir X, man.
Yes, sir.
I noticed that really old people play that game. So
wow, yo, don't you dare talk about my golfing. But never mind.
Yeah, golf. Anyway, but check that out tomorrow night around 8:00 Central. We'll definitely get into that. A lot of people talk a lot of trash. It's good and it's fun. And also, of course, the GRG podcast on Mixer. And I'll upload it here right after the show. And man, just on Twitter at KMega4. Thank you.
No doubt. Yo, again, shout out to the chat, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Another awesome episode in, and it is Saturday night, and the gamers got a game. We got to get the controllers in our hands. I skipped dinner to start this show, so I have to go back and eat dinner as well. But I'm gonna end the show the way I do every week. We will see you guys next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
oh.